Foreplay, presented by Barstool Sports. We have the entire crew today. I'm looking at Frankie and Trent in studio. We have Lurch, who's in New Jersey, it appears, based upon your background and the sloppiness of that room. It must be one that you habit frequently. I'm in Scottsdale, and we have on this show a huge interview. I'm actually incredibly excited myself to listen to this. I don't know if this is the first interview that I wasn't a part of at all, but you three were in studio with one of the great comedians in the world, Bert Kreischer, and all I've heard is that it went fantastically. Is this correct, gentlemen?
Yeah, he was great. I'm a big Bert fan. I love Two Bears, One Cave. I follow a lot of stuff that he does. I've been following him for a while. So it was a true honor to have him in studio here with the three of us just chatting. He's a very easy guy to talk to. Pretty much he came in with 2 coffees in hand, ready to talk. We threw him a couple questions, and then he just kind of ripped for 45 to 50 minutes. And I think we all had a pretty damn good time with it.
Yeah, it was fun. He can kind of just dominate the conversation. You know what I mean? He can just he's the host when he walks in. He sat in the middle. He's bouncing stuff off of us. We are the passengers no matter what podcast he goes in. Am I having a stroke with these lights?
This was actually happening.
We were having a tough time during
It's Bert's a nice throwback to the Bert interview. We had a problem with the lights as well. So it's happening again, which is nice.
He's just
you guys are
dude,
going.
man.
You're brighter, you're darker. What's going on in there?
He's just a funny fucking guy, man. And like when he laughs, it makes you laugh. And there's just something about him that his aura he's got it. He's just got it.
I mean, yeah, he dominates. He called his father at one point. It's like he was offering up to call a few different people during the interview. Like, we didn't just trust him, like in terms of what he said, but it was just amazing that he called his dad, put him kind of on speaker next to the mic, and on it went. So it was the Bert Show for 45 minutes, and it was a pleasure to be a part of.
Well, I'm excited to listen. We obviously don't want to give too much of it away. This is going to come up in the second half of the show. But yeah, in studio. It's nice to have some in-studio stuff going on again. We had Bubba Watson. We got Bert. It's nice.
So much better. It's light years better. It's impossible to do the same show over the internet. I mean, when they're here and they're in person and you're able to smack the guy when you tell a joke, and it's just so much. I mean, I was doing that to Bert. I'm like, you fucking believe this? And he's
doing a little slapping. You're doing like some arm slapping.
Yeah, I gave him a couple arm slaps, I think. And it's just, I don't know, man. It's so much better to be in person. It's just how interviews are supposed to go. We obviously pivoted to over the internet during the pandemic. The whole world did, but I mean, there's no denying that the sauce is being in studio with the people, because there's just a vibe that you can't generate online.
We came in on a Saturday, so credit to us. We interviewed Bert on a Saturday. That was when he could do it, and we came in, and it was, like I said, people are going to hear it, but it was a true pleasure.
I got a parking ticket outside for that.
Did you?
Yeah,
I did too. Yeah.
$118. You believe these fucking people?
Ooh, mine was 65.
Nightmare. Dude, right in front of
you gonna try to expense that?
I don't know if that.
No,
I can expense a parking ticket, dude.
I think so.
Really?
I don't know.
Give
it a shot. See what happens.
You can expense a certain degree of stupidity, I would say, but where that line is, I don't know.
Well, I was kind of running late because I don't know why I was running late, but I was running late. Oh, there was just ungodly traffic coming into the city on a Saturday. You know, sometimes they do these things where like only one lane's going to be open.
Can we have a serious conversation? When you are late, which you've been late every once in a while.
Yeah.
Is there actual traffic, or do you just leave?
Oh, dude. Long Island traffic going into the city is ungodly.
You can admit
there's always more traffic when you're late, though. There's always more traffic.
No, dude, because like I'm not an idiot. I know when to leave, right? So like if I know it takes me 50 minutes with no traffic from my house to the city, I'll just like plan for that. And when I planned to get here around like 10:45, 11 o'clock. The interview was at 12, right?
11:30. Yeah.
11:30. So I planned to get here like 10:45, 11. So I left around 10. I'm like, I'll have more than enough time. Oh, no, maybe I left. Yeah, I left around 10, being like, I'll have more than enough time, right? It's 50 minutes usually.
I think you got here like 11:15 or so.
But once I get on the Parkway, it's like all of a sudden the numbers change, dude. It's the only place in the world where the GPS changes. Like you can search it, like what is it right now, and then when you're in the car, it goes up. It's the only place on earth, Long Island, New York. Going there from my house to New York City is the only place where the numbers go up instead of down. They constantly change.
It does suck when you're driving somewhere and you're actively going in that direction and your ETA is going up. It's
Dude,
like the
new
most
thing
frustrating. It's
now,
like, no, I'm working. It should be going down, and it's like increasing.
The new thing now is that you get a little notification saying 7 minutes have been added to your trip.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then it's like that kept happening. And what happened was they closed one of the lanes to the tunnel. And you don't know that until you get up there. And I'm pretty sure the tunnel closed right when I got up there.
All right, that's good to know, because there's been a trend where you are late to things and you say it's traffic, and I thought you felt the need to lie to us because you're like, these guys just think I don't want them to know that I left late.
Bro, it's traffic.
You can tell us anything.
It's traffic.
Okay.
Actually, I took a picture. I took a picture of traffic the other day.
Show me it.
Look at this.
Let's see that picture.
3.9 miles away from the office. What does that read?
43 minutes.
That was the day.
That's absurd.
3.9 miles. 3.9 miles. Could someone run that faster? 4 miles under 43 minutes? No problem.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. No problem.
I mean, what are we doing here?
Shout out to New York City Marathon. Was this past weekend? It was great.
That's
but they
true,
ran 26.3. I think the winner was 2:08, I believe.
Yeah, so this is 3.
I mean, this is a breeze. This guy could be there and back. He could go get you a work coffee and come back.
I would say everybody's late at times, but I do think, Frankie, you're late more than the average person, I would say.
Yeah, I run late.
I don't think that's an unfair thing to say.
No, but it's not like I'm like late all the time. But when I am late, it's usually hectic.
Have you ever
I would say that I'm late.
Have you ever baked traffic into your timing just in general? That like if it's always longer, then like you should just always leave earlier than that?
But the problem is it's so inconsistent, or else I'd be late every single day. It's so inconsistent. My problem is when I am late, it's usually because I made a misjudgment on like something like that, like travel, or it's not because like I'm sleeping in or I like didn't want to go or like I was just lazy to not leave the house on time. Like, it's always like there's always something that I made like a miscue on when to leave, and like I'm doing stuff leading up to it. You know what I mean? Like it's always like, why did I do that? Why did I leave at this time? I could have just left 20 minutes earlier, and now I'm feeling the pain. So I do have to be better on like baking things in.
There is nothing worse though when you're looking at the clock. It's like going up, or you're cutting it close. That's when the traffic starts to get the heart rate going. Like that's where you're like, these fucking people, they don't get out of the way.
You can't do anything about it. You have no. You can't do anything.
You're looking at alternate streets. I can't
save the time if I wanted to.
You're looking at like ways to go around. I'm looking like,
oh my god!
When you start moving around the map and you're in traffic and you're seeing if side roads get you to the same place. That's when you know that you're just in a bad spot.
You're in a bad spot, and everybody's been there, and it's the worst feeling in the world. Because I'll even go almost in the wrong direction as long as I'm moving. Yeah. Like if I'm dead stopped, then the world stops, and I'm irate. I'm livid at everybody I'm looking at that
I would rather have it take a couple minutes longer and me moving the whole time than be just stuck in traffic and get there like 2 minutes earlier.
100%.
100%.
Yep.
At least you're doing something.
That's why sometimes, like if I'm going north from New Jersey, I'll go way west of the city, knowing that it's going to be a more consistent timing to get to Boston. Like it might take me about 5 hours, where if I went through the city, like I can get there in 4:30 with no traffic, but with traffic, all of a sudden it becomes 7 because nobody's moving on the Merritt in Connecticut, and it's the biggest nightmare in the world. So, you can't have it.
I would say that was probably the biggest factor for living in Manhattan when you work in Manhattan, is that at least you always have some control. Like even if it's a 20-minute run from your apartment or something, like you always have that option. When you don't live in there, you can just get completely fucked.
Right. Like I know from my apartment to the office is a 33-minute walk. No matter what. I can get there in 33 minutes if I have to. If I'm feeling lazy and I take an Uber, sometimes it can take longer depending on traffic. But I know if I have something at 12:30, if I leave at, 11:30, I'm easily going to be there in enough time. 33 minutes door to door for sure.
The only negative, it's the worst place on earth. So it's like, your time from door to door, but it's also the worst place on earth. Like
it's not.
It is though. It really is, dude. Like it is for how expensive it is and what you get, and like the just how insanely packed and disgusting the city is for what you like. It should be a luxury.
What you spend. It should be a luxury. In the middle of a home buying process. The way he's talking about it right now, he's.
I just can't imagine people are living in little rooms for like what I'm going to end up paying for like a mortgage. Right. It makes me sick to my stomach that people live like rats.
Like I get it. There was a video that
$4,000 a month. Like it's just fucking
over
insane.
The weekend. There was a video that went viral of like juice from garbage getting squeezed out in the back of a truck.
Ooh.
And people are like,
Yep,
oh, that's
saw
disgusting. Yeah, it's a bad video. But then like the trade-off is like I can have ice cream delivered to my apartment whenever I want.
You can have that anywhere.
No, you can't.
Dude, I had a McFlurry brought to my door on Long Island, East Meadow, Long Island last night. It took 12 minutes. He went to the fucking McDonald's. There was no line, I guess, and he was at my door in 12 minutes. Faster than I think the city.
But I would argue, though, like Long Island's better for that. Like Long Island, you're still in some degree attached to like a big city feel. People are used to big city accommodations. Like you do get into most parts of the country, and it gets dicey trying to get shit. Like you can get it delivered, but it's dicey. It's slow. You don't have that many options. Maybe they close down at a certain time after 10 or 11. It becomes tougher to eat. There are advantages, but I would also say, Trent, like I was a big fan of. I believe, like Lurch and I lived in Boston for a long time before. We would always be like, yeah, I could go visit New York, but I can't live there. And then you move there and you're like, oh, actually, New York's great. I really like it. And you start talking about the positives. Once you then move out of it after living in it, I think that you look at it as the worst place in the world and you can't believe that you justified it for a while, in my opinion.
Just when you compare it to other things, it gets sickening. When you compare it to other things,
I think the city's great. Like being back in it now, I was in it.
But it's...
After our Bert interview, I stayed in, had just kind of a day in the city. It was great. And I was like, oh, man, I got to get back in the city. But, yeah, no, I mean, I don't know, Riggs, you've settled into the Scottsdale lifestyle. It's lovely out there, I will say. That's just another great place to live. Despite the summers, they're just unbearable. But I like the city. Yeah, T, like your point of you can get ice cream delivered. I wouldn't even say it. You can get anything you want within 15 minutes if you live in New York. Like anything, which is the difference of like you could be on a Broadway show, then you're in some basement bar that you don't even know what's happening in there. And that's why I think the city's so cool. And there's just a blend of all kinds of people in there, all different ways of life, which is the city. Like you get outside that and then you just find your own kind of like group that lives in that area.
There's one thing that Trent doesn't have that I know he really misses, which is driving around in a car.
Oh, I do miss that. I really do miss that. Listening to music in a car is the best way to listen to music.
When new music comes out, I get in the car.
Yeah.
Is it great listening to it when it's pitch black because the studio, I guess, the lights just turn off?
These lights apparently now have a mind of their own.
We never try and fix them, though. Like, it's Pete. No, it's like whatever's happening, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy how much darker your guys' room is than when it was a minute ago.
Like when I go home to visit.
I think I just threw Pete under the bus for that. But I don't know.
Did too.
Sometimes you just got to throw someone's name out there.
These lights are, they're unpredictable now.
We got some in-house stuff, some in-house announcements to make. Before we get to that, we're going to talk about the Owens. All right.
Nice.
We like Owens a lot. Owens is really good. You guys got it. I got it. I even got a little transfusion logo hoodie on, which is coming out Black Friday. We'll talk more about that. But owensmixers.com. All right. These guys just figured it out. You pour the shit in with your favorite liquor of choice. You have an awesome cocktail. Everybody likes a nice cocktail. If you like to drink, you definitely like a nice cocktail. You like new cocktails. You like to learn about different stuff. We got tonic water and lime. Okay. We got grapefruit and lime. We got margarita mix. We have our transfusion mix. This puppy's all over golf courses here. I was up at Greyhawk hitting balls earlier. Cart girls driving by, they say they're slinging these things left and right. People are ordering them all the time because they're delicious, they're quick, they're easy. You don't have to guess, right? Nobody wants to guess on the proportions. You pour 4 different drinks. They're all different. They all taste different. They have different levels of grape juice or ginger ale or whatever. You don't have to worry about that with Owens Mixers. They're consistent and they're very simple. And then owensmixers.com, you can go check out the store locator, pick a store. Go pick it up, put it into your drink with liquor, and you have an awesome cocktail. So big thanks to Owens Mixers. Okay, some in-house stuff. We've got this morning, Tuesday, when you guys are listening to the show, 8 a.m. Eastern, our ugly sweaters are going on sale. We got some great ones this year. I got this puppy right here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that.
Premium.
Oh.
Absolutely premium. It's crazy how good that fucking sweater is.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
And sometimes like you think it's gonna be that old school Christmas sweater wool where it's itchy and it doesn't feel right. There's something about this material that it's the most comfortable thing I've ever worn. Like when we put that on,
it shocked me actually because like I get stuff. I don't get as much stuff like as you guys get being in the office and whatnot. But I got my hands on a couple of these sweaters and I was like, oh man, this is not what I expected. Like I thought it was gonna be that like crunchy, pull it away from your neck type sweater that's like don't put it on my body because I can't deal with it.
Claw your chin off all day because you just...
Right, exactly. It's super comfortable, and they're just funny to... Like, they're great pieces of clothing. Like, they're just fun to wear.
They're so comfortable you could wear them to bed. I'm not even kidding. You could wear that sweater to bed, and you wouldn't feel a difference. It wouldn't itch you at night.
What do you usually wear to bed, Frank? What do you usually wear to bed?
T-shirt and Tommy Johns. Like a white tee and Tommy Johns. Is that weird?
Anybody else want to offer up their sleeping attire?
I don't wear anything.
Okay.
Of course.
I go about, for whatever reason, I go about naked half the time. I would say I go naked.
Yeah, I'm probably right up there too.
Tommy Johns, nice pair of those silky Tommy Johns I wear.
Yeah, it's either boxer briefs or nothing at all.
Yeah. So I'm.
And sometimes
body's gross, but everybody's doing it.
Yeah. You don't ever go birthday suit?
Yeah, I mean, if I it depends on if I come out of the shower and I just go right in there and then I get really tired. But half the time, like after I get a shower, I'll walk over to my dresser, I'll put on Tommy John's t-shirt, watch TV, and then like I end up falling asleep like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like whatever I'm wearing to go get water by the water cooler or whatever, like that's what I end up falling asleep in.
Another sweater that I love that's on sale now is the Santa elf one where the elf is helping him read the green.
Yep, I worked on that for a long time.
It's a really good one.
Yep, it was hard to get that one right, and I think we nailed it. I think we absolutely fucking nailed it. I like Santa doing things. We're getting into the Christmas spirit. We've talked about this a lot on the podcast. Look at that thing.
That one, yep.
Santa and his elf are reading the shit out of that green, and Santa's stance is so perfect. It's immaculate.
It's a
that
really
drawing.
good one.
Yeah, that's something that you want to buy because you want your friends to see how cool that ugly sweater is. Everyone struggles on finding an ugly sweater that's going to be a conversation piece. That one for sure is going to be like, oh fuck, look at that thing. Where'd you get that? Because it's Santa reading a green. Like it's
Santa
ugly.
and his boy, man. They're just trying to get the line right, trying to get the speed right.
That's something that I would definitely buy if I was just in a store, like last minute shopping, going for an ugly sweater party. Like I need to find something that's going to make people talk. That's the one.
So Tuesday, 8 a.m. Eastern time, that's probably already occurred and happened that time in this world that we're living in if you are listening right now. So go store.barstoolsports.com, check it out. And then Black Friday, I'm starting to get a bunch of our shipments of our Black Friday stuff, getting a little tease, putting some teasers out there. Just be ready for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We're going to have a lot of cool shit. So be prepared for that. And then November 23rd is our target date for our Abandoned Dunes travel show. I think we have 5 episodes to come out. A lot of people have been asking about that. They're hungry. They're excited. November 23rd is the target date for those, and we'll just rip those right through the holiday season. So get geared up and get happy and excited and all that about that.
And then, so tomorrow or today when this comes out, it's 20% off, right?
Yep.
So just don't make the mistake that everyone makes and not get on this when it is 20% off, and you're gonna need ugly sweaters. I don't want to move past the ugly sweaters until we really hammer that home. You're going to go to parties this year.
Right, it's happening. Last year when we did this, parties weren't happening as much.
Ugly sweater parties are happening. You're going to be getting together with friends. You're going to want to wear something super festive with all the colors, and you're going to stress, and you end up running to Marshalls the night before, and you're going to be trying to find something orange, red and green, and you're going to try and find an elf hat. You can go orange if you want, but my point is, just don't make the mistake that I've made all these years where I just wait until the last minute. I don't get the thing I want. We're offering these awesome ugly sweaters that are going to make you festive, and we're giving them 20% off. Get them now. Don't make that mistake, you fucking idiot. Ryan and Jeffrey and Alyssa, all right? I'm talking to you. Like, just fucking do it.
Brittany,
you've been fucking slacking all these years. Alex, you've been a slack your whole fucking life. You just sit there and you wait and nothing comes to you. Now it's time to grab life by the balls and fucking buy something. Just do it.
Jingle balls, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say a name.
I'm
not going to say a name because I think then we'll just because then I think we'll just be here all day doing that. So I'm not going to.
Or you could say a name and we won't be here all day. That's another option.
Now I think we're waiting on you to say a name.
What if you said a name and we're just
infinite names? I think there's infinite names.
You won't join in on this game saying names.
You won't say
no,
one
because
name?
I think it's a slippery slope.
You think the only ending to this is that it just never ends? Or you don't think that you say one name and it's just over? You can't see a scenario in which that happens?
There's a lesser chance that we keep going if I don't say it.
I'm telling you, if you say a name, I won't say another one.
We'll drop it.
I don't trust you. I don't trust you.
That's crazy.
We'll drop it right now if you just say a name.
You're crazy. No, you won't. I don't think you can help yourself.
I'm going to start saying names until he says a name. Penelope. Bobby.
Stuart.
Patricia.
I'm not giving into this.
You're going hard on the P's.
I know. I can't get off the P's, dude.
And they also
Kept me trying to make up for the PP
Christopher.
games. Is that what you're doing?
Christopher.
Gabrielle. I think it's 20% only for today as well.
It is.
I could have made that
Enrique. Emmanuel.
All right.
Michael. Matt.
Viktor Hovland won in Mexico. Does that count?
Victor.
There you go. No fun. Before we get to Victor, I golfed this morning. First time with the elbow. I wanted to test it out. Shot a 40, 4 over, 9 holes.
Not bad at
Played
all.
really well. First hole, we played on the back 9 at Rockville Links. First hole's a par 3. Hit a 9-iron to the center of the green. Just missed a birdie putt. I'm like, I'm back, baby. Next hole, driver hit right down the middle. Hit a fucking hybrid to the right side on a par 5. Missed the green with like a pitching wedge. But like, man, I was just back in it. Swinging super slow. Like, cautiously slow. To the point where the super there, Luke was like, "Man, that's like your new, like that's the swing right there. So you're
doing in Bandon. You were swinging that way in Bandon.
That's the pocket.
We've always been telling you to swing slow.
Yeah, no, I know, and I think that it's still raw. Like right now, I played 9 holes because I know we have some golf coming up. Like end of November and December, we're gonna want to schedule some things. So I'm like, I have to play. Rockville's the place I go on Monday mornings. Had my dad out there. Had future and father-in-law out there. It was nice to get out there. I mean, fucking 60 degrees this morning.
Really nice.
I mean. Can you think of a better time to play golf with the leaves all on the ground? It's got that fucking feel. And in the morning, Luke was like, I'm going to hit you up if there's frost on the ground, and you might not be able to come. I woke up, it was like 55 degrees at 8 a.m. I'm like, can we come?
Any leaf rule? Any leaf rule issues?
We didn't lose a ball in the leaves, no. But I saw that we posted something on Instagram or Twitter on Foreplay of a guy walking around with a leaf blower, and he's just walking around looking for his ball. It's a really good move. Really good move.
Not all that practical, though.
Well, if you have a
where
cart,
you keep that thing?
You have a cart, you have a little mini leaf blower, one of the little electric ones. That's no problem.
It's no problem. That's true. I hadn't thought about putting it in the cart.
Throw it in the back of the cart, walk. I don't know. You pack
No,
cart.
it works.
makes it a lot
the cart, I was in the same boat as Trent. I did not, it didn't even come into my brain.
I was also picturing in one of those industrial ones where you put it on like a backpack, and then there's
no.
And it basically looks like a flamethrower.
I don't know if I've ever done any real leaf blowing. We used to just rake them back in the day, but I don't think I've ever done any leaf blowing. It actually looks fun and satisfying.
You wouldn't believe how much faster it goes.
Unless it's a windy day, then it's the most frustrating thing of your life. Then you can't. If it's windy on top of the leaf blowing, you don't do anything.
I've done some leaf blowing at Borelli's. We did like the patio. I did. It's nice. It is satisfying.
Yeah, if it's dead, because then it's one of those like satisfying videos you see on Instagram,
right?
Where it's just like you go back and forth and it just happens.
I watched a guy today at Rockville do a tee box. It was under a tree, and I mean the fucking tree just destroyed this tee box with leaves, and he was going just from back to front, slow left to right, and there was just luscious green tee box appearing underneath all these crinkly old leaves.
It's like watching somebody wash a window.
Yeah, or like doing the ice at the Zamboni.
Yeah.
Just clean.
Very satisfying. Viktor Hovland. So, look, I think it's pretty clear none of us are gigantic fall golf PGA Tour guys. It's just not that exciting. I don't know how the hell you go from major championship every month, Ryder Cup or President's Cup, and then you're supposed to get jacked up for this golf. Occasionally you get a sweet leaderboard. We had, Rory was battling it out a few weeks ago, and you get a little bit excited about that. But overall, I'm very unlikely to be flipping off of football or not going on the golf course when you get a nice day in the fall or winter or whatever and flip it on golf. I would say from like into September through January, it's hard for me to really care about a lot of professional golf. You think that's fair?
Yeah, I haven't watched golf in 4 months. I don't know.
Yeah,
I turn it on like Rory's when he throw it on. You think I'm watching Viktor Hovland charge down on Sunday? I mean, I had so much shit going on yesterday, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, if you thought I was rearranging my day to watch that fucking golf tournament, then you don't know you don't know me, and you can probably stop listening to the podcast because I'll never watch that ever.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. And again, if you're one of those guys, if you're even like Viktor Hovland's not a fringe guy, but if you are one of the more fringe guys, like this is your time to shine. You get a lot of the big dogs are not in the field, so the strength of the field's a little bit less. Get out there, try to rack up some FedEx Cup points, some cash, some money, whatever. Totally understand that. If you get a really cool leaderboard, a couple badasses or a couple interesting stories going neck and neck and they're battling out for a title, you might get me to flip it on. I'll watch a few highlights on Twitter, but generally, exactly like Frankie's saying, I'm not flipping off of almost anything else, or I'm not changing my plans in the fall to be watching golf. I think in the future, they're probably going to rearrange a lot of this. It sounded like from who gave us a little tidbit? Oh, Bubba did, gave us a little tidbit that like in the future.
Little tudbutt. Let's put a pin on that one.
Tudbutt. Little tudbutt.
Kind of blended tidbit and Bubba in the same word. I don't know. I don't hate it, honestly.
Little tudbutt about the future scheduling of the PGA Tour. And it sounds like they are going to build in more of a break at this period because people just, for what we're talking about, it's just not that exciting. I doubt they get any ratings. I don't see a ton of fans out there. And it is what it is. Having said that, Viktor Hovland gets another win. It's interesting. He moves to top 10 in the world. He's ranked 10th right now. And it feels, it feels hard to avoid the fact that like every month it feels like another one of these young guys is the top dog. Like he's got 3 wins now. He's got his smile. He's got his whole, vibe. I was looking, it's like Rahm, Morikawa, DJ, Cantlay, Xander, JT, Bryson, Rory, Louis, Victor. That's the top 10 in the world. And it feels like, again, it's hard for anybody to get a ton of like separation, especially out of that younger crew. I mean, Viktor Hovland's only 24 years old with Morikawa and Wolford. But he's sort of already, kind of adding to his resume. And it feels like when somebody else is ready to take over, Morikawa wins a couple majors. Viktor Hovland's got 3 wins. He had a great performance at the Ryder Cup even though they lost. So it seems like he might, I don't know. It's becoming tougher and tougher, I think, on a week-to-week basis to really find one that stands out much over the other, which we're really used to in the world of golf.
He feels like more understated than the others, though. Like, if I was going to rank the other, it's like, yeah, and even when you said top 10, that kind of shocked me as well. Like, I don't think of him as that high in the world. But it is crazy how just the top 10 golfers in the world everybody's young, it feels like. And it does feel like, well, who's next?
Shout out to Louis being on that list. That hit me like a ton of bricks when I heard that name. All the other ones are in the conversation that we're talking about, and Louis is just in the top 10. I think he was 9 if you were listing him off in order. I just did not expect him to be there.
Surprised me a little bit too when I went through, and then also not, because he had that. It's like he finishes second every tournament. It's like almost amazing he's not number 2 in the world because he's fucking right there all the time. But yeah, the rest of those names, I think Victor, when we were a couple months ago, I think he was 13th or 14th in the world. So clearly this is, when you get a win, you vault up there. Spieth is 11th in the world. I know he got to top 10, I think, in the last week or two, despite not even playing because the way the points shuffled or whatever. But yeah, you've got a little bit of shuffling going on up there. I mean, Rahm, I think, is clearly number 1. And then after, if you went Morikawa, Dustin Johnson, Patrick Cantlay, Xander Schauffele, Justin Thomas, Bryson DeChambeau, Rory McIlroy, Louis Oosthuizen, and Viktor Hovland, I don't know that any one of those I'm going to strongly bet on over the other any given week. And Jon Rahm's probably the only one that really stands out to me as like clearly having separated himself this year from the rest. So just something to, kind of nibble on going into 2022, if you like to do that kind of thing. Tiger Woods. So we got a little bit of update since the last time. And again, I don't know if this comes with a ton of credibility. It doesn't. It was from the Tiger Woods Spot account that we have gotten into it before, and Frankie had to issue an official apology to.
Watch that tone. They don't like that. They don't like when you question their sources, their credibility. Yeah, no, they bullied the fuck out of me. I had to apologize.
Yeah, I do apologize. So TW Spot on Twitter posted, as this was late last week, as some other reports have indicated in recent weeks, have been hearing some rumblings with regard to Tiger's recovery, including that he has progressed to the point of a resumption of some limited golf activity. And then he went on in the follow-ups to that to say and go through when Tiger emerged in late 2017 for his most recent comeback, that he I believe posted like a video of him chipping, and that was kind of it. And then all of a sudden, like a week later, he hit like a full stinger 2-iron or something was a video he released, and everybody kind of went crazy. So he was trying to kind of stack it, see if it's going to stack up to that, and kind of, whatever, guessing on what's going to happen. But the main takeaway is that things continue to sound like they are progressing towards a Tiger Woods return to the world of golf with absolutely no timetable whatsoever.
Well, a foreplay update, actually, in our DMs. So someone sent us a video of Tiger Woods swinging a golf club. There was no context clues to when it was filmed or anything like that. It was a screen recording of someone's Instagram story. And the only thing was like in the top right, it was like 3:28, like in the afternoon. It was like Tiger Woods swinging at Torrey Pines. So we didn't post it because
that's
there was no...
not true, though.
Yeah.
I was with Brendan that day, and like, first of all, Torrey Pines is a public golf course. Tiger Woods' first time on the golf course is not Torrey Pines, and also looked like he was on a range, and it was just like a grass range. So that just was not true. That couldn't have been.
All of this stuff is no pun.
It had to be debunked.
Yeah, that's
by
fine.
Frankie. I agree with all those points you just said. Like,
imagine him just he's at Eisenhower tomorrow too.
And that's the only video is somebody DMs it. Nobody else saw anything.
All of this stuff, and the pun I was going to make is all of this stuff is foreplay.
Bang.
Until we actually see the video, like Riggs is talking about, where
Make
he
me
comes
cream,
out,
baby.
where he actually puts a video up of himself swinging a golf club, hitting a chip, hitting a putt, or whatever. All of this stuff, I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time with it. I think everybody is.
Like foreplay?
But I do. But the real deal, when it actually happens.
What's your favorite foreplay?
Come on, let's not do this. Up
I'm
until
kind of
that
interested.
point,
It's been a big couple months for you, T Daddy. I'd like to hear some things.
You know?
I have no comment.
Okay.
Up until that point, when he puts out a video of himself, it's just a lot of heavy petting.
Little mouth play?
Ooh. Okay. Heavy petting is kind of bad too.
Heavy
though,
petting?
You know what I mean?
That's just the example that I
that's
used
not innocent.
for the video or the reports that we're hearing, like TW Spot. That stuff is heavy petting. Is heavy petting and grabbing and touching and tugging.
Awesome.
You know what I mean?
Heavy petting.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Wholeheartedly, I agree. But I also would say, I don't think anybody. I don't know. Like I heard Joe LaCava spent a whole week with him a couple months ago, and he came away being like, I have no idea what his takeaway. Like I don't know. Nobody can get a sense of what his recovery is like, when he can really play again, if he'll play again, to the point where I don't think he knows. But if there's rumblings going on, usually where there's, smoke, there's fire in these kinds of situations. And it's proven time and time again that even though Tiger's incredibly, tight-lipped, usually the way the reports kind of come out, it tends to go that way. So whenever he's like, hey, I'm not really sure what I'm going to play, and everyone's like, no, we're pretty sure he's going to play this tournament. He usually plays that tournament. So if things are coming out that are, all trending in the same direction, if he allowed things to come out and didn't refute them, when Charlie Hoffman and Steve Stricker and these other folks over the last few months, Ricky Leaks, have come out and said that I think Tiger's really focusing on a return to golf. He's working on rehab with his golf clubs next to him, et cetera, et cetera. I think all of that's going in the same direction, which we are very excited about.
Speaking of Joey LaCava, you want to talk about how much of a 5-tool podcast we are? In what golf podcast are you going to find where Joey LaCava, the caddy of Tiger Woods, texts the golf podcast host, hey, I've got some family members that want to go see the Bachelor show live in New York City and see Trent do his Bachelor show.
Oh, the Chicks in the Office.
Chicks in the Office. I mean, Joey LaCava reached out to me, said, can I get, my daughters and her friends are huge Chicks in the Office fans. Can we get them in there? Trent got them in, the VIP access, met them, the whole thing. They had the time of their lives. Joey's like, they had the time of their lives. Thank you so much for this. And he's like, I was thinking to myself, man, we're a golf podcast. He reached out to us to do this Chicks in the Office show. It's just Tiger Woods' caddy.
I met them afterwards. They were very nice. They had a great time at the show. It was I had forgotten about that actually.
Yeah, it was just a total what the fuck type moment for me. Being
can't put your finger on us, man. You can't.
I'll get them into the show, man. No problem. Yeah.
What are we doing out here?
Yeah, they came. They did the meet and greet before where Rhea and Fran meet everybody, and then afterwards they came and we talked for 10-15 minutes and they had a great time.
You text Colt Nose for a fucking sleeve of balls. You text us to get into a fucking Chicks in the Office show. 5-tool, man.
5-tool.
It ain't just golf.
I like you getting your shots in at Colt. I thought you loved Colt.
I do, but I like to give it to him because he I don't know, isn't he like a guy who likes to give it to people and take it?
He likes to riff. Yeah, I agree with
just
that.
take it, baby. Let me give it to you.
I think Macanudo. I got to talk about how excited people get about Macanudo really quickly. I got this whole box of cigars. This kind of this do something for you guys? Get you a little excited.
Reds are a little more intense for my liking. I like the whites, but they're a hell of a cigar, man. They are a hell of a cigar.
Yeah, the orange label, as we call it, is a little spicier. You're right, Frankie. It's significantly. So the white one's a little smoother for folks.
Oh, I love it.
But Macanudo, they've come on this year and been a big supporter of ours. I, admittedly was not a huge cigar guy beforehand. Macanudo has dramatically changed that. Just enhances the day. It makes it cool, makes it fun, and just adds a little more spice, a little more excitement, a little more thrill to the day when you throw a Macanudo cigar in there. So do yourself a favor. You can enter to win a limited edition branded golf set and a humidor for your Macanudo Inspirato smokes at macanudo.com/barstool. You got to be 21 plus for entry. They are the best-selling handmade cigar in the United States of America. Macanudo uses only the finest hand-selected tobaccos blended to give you the very best smoking experience time after time. Macanudo Inspirato cigars are crafted in the Dominican Republic, Honduras, and Nicaragua, and they're just awesome. And they add to your experience. So do yourself a favor, add to not just your experience, but you can potentially add to your collection, add to your repertoire if you enter to win a limited edition branded golf set and humidor for your Macanudo Inspirato smokes. It's macanudo.com/barstool. You got to be 21 plus to enter.
They smoke Macanudos in Sopranos. Get the fucking Macanudos.
Is that what they say?
Yeah.
My dad respects me more now that I'm a cigar guy. Because my dad's he's a big cigar guy, and I sent him a bunch of Macanudos. And then when I was back between the Vegas trip and the Ryder Cup, when I was back home, I stopped back for like a day or two, smoked a couple Macanudos with him, and I could just, he didn't outright say it, but I could feel that he was like, this guy's all right.
I also
feel it's been 30 plus years, and it's been touch and go. Good. You never know exactly how they feel. But then when you're sitting out on the porch smoking a cigar with
proud of my son after all
watching the weather come in, just this guy's not that bad.
Yeah, he's like, all right, I accept this guy as my son, which I really appreciate.
It wasn't always clear, but today it is.
No, it was not always clear.
Macanudo, too, I think has always left me with more of a celebratory feel about my round, right? Like no matter how it's going, you could play horrible, you could be feeling down on yourself. You get a Macanudo in your hands, and it feels like you're celebrating something. It feels like you're adding a little bit of positive connotation to the entire experience. So
first thing we did when I broke 100 was we smoked Macanudos. So yeah, they are still
fired them up.
Yep,
fired them up, baby. All right, I got an interesting from the gallery that ties into a lot of things. Foreplay at barstoolsports.com. You could submit these, and we'll read them, debate them, talk about them on this very podcast right here called Foreplay. So we were talking about the Greg Norman situation last week, the Saudi League, tons and tons of money being offered to players. How do you balance that? How do you weigh that with obviously one's moral objection to Saudi backing and their history and how they treat people? So someone submitted, a few different people submitted things similar, so I kind of combined them, but I'm going to take Andrews, who said, if the new Saudi Golf Super League offered each Foreplay member $10 million for the next 5 years, and the Fore Man Scramble competes and films exclusively in the Saudi-backed league, what do you guys do?
$10 million each?
$10 million each person.
Yeah, I'll see you in Saudi Arabia.
Per year or just the whole thing?
Right, that was
for
my
5 years.
Too.
$10 million for over 5 years.
So $2 million a year.
Yeah.
And we exclusively, Fore Man Scramble competes exclusively, films exclusively, and does our whole
and we compete
here, whatever we do.
We could win too.
Okay,
I'll be in Saudi. You just find me in Saudi.
Yeah.
Yeah, but part of when we talk about the Fore Man Scramble competing in these tournaments, it's because of the people who are also in the tournament, right?
Yep.
So, like, the way that it's going right now, there aren't a lot of guys jumping over to these Saudi leagues. So, it's not like we're going to have the same sort of cachet that we're getting if we were, totally. Be in a John Deere Classic, a prestigious tournament like that. Mm. So,
but Trent, I don't know that our cachet matters because we're bringing in $40 million for the boys over 5 years. The point I think
we ain't making that in Iowa, dude. We ain't making that. We're not making that kind of cash in
Illinois.
Clearly, there are moral, ethical objections to Saudi Arabia, but people have a price. I think almost every human being on Earth has a number where if that number is going to outweigh their objections to any Saudi-backed stuff. And I think if they offered each one of us $10 million over 5 years, I think at some point you're like, all right, see you later. I don't feel great about it, but guess what? I then can bank $5, $6, $7 million after taxes and all this, and I'm set, and my family's set for a damn long time.
I'll use that time and money to expose the government over there, and after my 5 years,
I don't think that's going to go great.
I'll be a fucking hero.
Dead. That means you don't even get to enjoy the $10 million.
I'll be a hero, dude. Doesn't mean I have to back the fucking government and what they believe in.
The reason I brought up the tournament thing is because I was trying to figure out a way to say no, because otherwise, that's a lot of money.
So basically, this person's trying to expose us to say that everything we said about Greg Norman is like we would just do the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, I think they're essentially trying to get to the point of everyone can sit there and say like, oh, there's bad backing and horrible ethics behind it, so I'm just out. But clearly, anyone who wants to throw stones at the players and all that, if you are put into a situation similarly, there are understandable reasons and ways that human beings would make a decision to be like, you know what? Sometimes I got to look out for numero uno and my family. And if I can get X amount of money and be set for generations, I would be crazy to say no to that. And I think that was essentially what the submission of the question was trying to get to. And I think it's a good thing to get to. It's not like every person that is considering saying yes or playing in this league is some horrific person. Like, I just go fucking play golf. I'm not killing anybody. I'm not supporting anybody, killing anybody, or doing horrible things to other people. I'm just playing golf. And if they're going to pay me an outrageous amount of money to go play it here, here, and here, then I'm just going to do it. And if people look negatively on that, I can't help it. So I think it's quite interesting to think that if we were offered an outrageous amount of money to exclusively do our thing, YouTube videos, podcasts, whatever it is, around this, sketchily and problematically backed Super League, there's probably a certain number that would make things really, really interesting for us.
Is $10 million enough?
Yeah. For what? Like,
for what we're talking about?
Yeah, but I mean, for enough for what? Like, people being like, that's bad money. Jason Bateman took a lot of money in fucking Ozark. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, Frankie.
To the point, I get McDowell, if he were to jump over there to the Super League, somebody that's at the end of their contract but for us, that's life-changing money. So I'm just going to be over there. And then it also answers the question that I would love to know is at this age, how good of a golfer could I be? Could I ever get to scratch? And with 10 million guaranteed and just doing podcasts and things like that, it would leave a lot of time to just be over there hitting golf balls and practicing.
Dude, we're expensing $14
cut down to lunches. 3 years instead of 5? Yeah.
We're out here expensing airport lunches for $13, taking pictures of fucking receipts. You don't think I'm going to take $10 million, dude?
Every time I buy internet on a plane, $17.95, I expense the shit out of that because I have to.
Dude, you probably won't fly. I mean, you'd fly first class everywhere with $10 million.
I just think we could get more than 10.
Why don't we talk to him? I'll hear anyone out about cash.
Yeah,
we'll negotiate with them. You fucking kidding me? That you're talking about, and you don't have to live over there. They don't play in Saudi. No. They do maybe one event a year in Saudi Arabia, but they're going to be all over the world this week. I think you live wherever the hell you want. The issue is that the money is coming from the Saudi regime, which is clearly the problem, and their bad history. But again, everybody, I think almost everyone on the planet Earth has a number. They offer you a certain number. I think almost everyone has to be like, all right, yep, I got to do that.
If you really want to go into it, all this money's dirty. Every dollar you get from these all these big companies, Apple and Walmart comes in, they stick their Walmart on top of all these mom and pop businesses. You're just going to take their money? What happened to all the fucking people they ran out of town? Big Walmart. I mean, Apple, they've done some fucking weird shit over there in China, building all these fucking iPhones for all these years. Are you kidding me? You're just going to sit there at the fucking Genius Bar and take their cash? Yeah, I'll listen to fucking
Just say a name, Riggs. Just give them a name to buy an ugly sweater.
I'll listen. I mean, that's not bad what I'm saying. It's fucking true.
Peter.
If you fucking dig deep enough, you're going to find a lot of shit. Stock market, all these fucking wet hairs.
Facebook's going through right now.
Facebook, the guy, Meta, the guy's talking to the fucking Congress every fucking other day about all the weird shit they're doing with people hacking into our Facebooks and changing all the way we think. Stop getting into my brain.
I don't disagree with that.
No, so my point is, if you dig deep enough, you're gonna find shit no matter what. All this money ain't clean. So I'll listen, man. 10 million? You kidding me? Over 5 years? 2 million? If you think at any point in my life I'm making $2 million a year clear just to play golf, you're fucking insane. So I'm taking this and running.
T, you're the only one that's been on the fence. Like, what's your number?
No, I would do it.
Oh, you care about humanity? Okay. Just kidding. I care about humanity.
No,
totally. I know, but
I want cash though. Bad.
I mean,
if you really wanted to get into it, like you could totally be like, well, any money in the United States, like there are certain parts of the country that are certain parts of the world that look at all the money we make and think that we're evil for that. So it's like you really could get into it.
I've been on this podcast. I've been on this podcast before begging Kevin Kisner for $1,000. You guys don't think I'm going to take $10 million? Yeah, I'm going to take it.
Yeah. So again, we're not supporting that, but we are very much trying to showcase, I think, that we're aware of the fact that people can be put in really tough spots when a ton of money's on the line, and you can't necessarily blame everybody or call everybody some evil scumbag if they're willing to take a life-changing amount of money to go play golf or go do their job somewhere. Sling TV. If you love watching live TV and you're tired of the high prices, it's time to take control of your TV experience. It's time that you got Sling. It is the place where your favorite channels like NFL Red Zone, ESPN, MTV, and much more are all together for less. It is the cheapest way to watch Golf Channel all year long. So you're listening to this podcast, you probably do watch Golf Channel a good amount. This is the cheapest way to do that. You can watch a ton of our content, like past episodes of the show, 4-play scrambles, 4-man scrambles, breaking 100, even exclusive brand new Barstool content for free on the Barstool Sports channel, which is on Sling. So do yourself a favor, go to sling.com/barstool, sign up now, get your first month starting at $10. Typical month goes for $35. We're going to get you your first month for just $10, and you get all the benefits of, Sling TV, of streaming, not having all kinds of crap that you don't want to watch, having the stuff that you do want to watch, having Golf Channel, having our channel. You get your first month, $10. You go to sling.com/barstool. Okay. I think that's it at this point. Anybody have anything else before we throw it over to Bert and get a little comedy going? What do you got,
lights come down from up top. I mean, look how good my fucking jawline looks on my face. This is how I have to look all the time. You see that?
Yeah.
Isn't that insane?
You've been looking better in pictures recently.
I
told
it's
you that
with
with the Bubba picture. I think you look good. Thanks to Lurch. We all look good in the Bert Kreischer picture.
I look bad in that picture. I look
holy
fat
shit, you
and
ginormous.
Large.
That's a guy
just a bad photo. The lean in, my guts out. That's a bad.
Why'd you push your stomach out like that?
I don't know, man, but it's like, am I that fat? Like,
do you suck in? Like, do you not do the suck in for pictures?
No, I don't do it. No, dude, they're photos. It's like, this is me. Like, but
no,
that,
you gotta like suck it in. Yeah, you're saying like, oh, it's a picture. This is actually who I am. No, every picture that goes on the internet these days is not who the actual person is.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, for
that'd
me,
be like saying, why do you even smile for the photo then? If it's just
because I'm generally a happy guy, so that's consistent. But
yeah, but do you just walk around like this?
Pretty much
all the time. Nobody does that.
He kind of does do that, actually.
I pretty much do that.
I'm always amazed, and I know we've gone over this a million times with the way Lurch looks in pictures, but I am a bigger guy. I am.
Right.
I'm a Midwest, broad-shouldered, big belly, whatever. I'm a bigger guy, but whenever I'm standing next to you in pictures, I look like a regular-sized human being.
In that picture, baby.
Yeah, in that picture with Bert, I look like a very regular-sized human being because Lurch looks so massive.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. I looked, yeah, a little bit tall, but I was square. I was rectangle. It was a bad photo out there. So whatever, on we go.
Aside from Bert, because Bert's such a great fucking podcast guest. Like, he's just built for podcast guesting.
Yeah, he is.
Who's your top 3 podcast guests of all time that you would want? Not golf related. I mean, it could be golf related.
Jesus.
I know. This is not really a question.
Larry David would be, I think, number 1 for me.
You think he'd care, though? I saw KFC tweet about this because Bill Simmons had fucking Tom Hanks on. Okay. And that was like, holy shit. So then KFC was writing lists. And so he wrote that he would like Larry David because he'd probably care more than Jerry Seinfeld, but still wouldn't care at all. But I think Larry David's been on Bill Simmons before. or someone's show, someone's show, and he actually was pretty good. So I'll give you that one. Actually.
Right. The thing with Larry David is the first 10 minutes would be him being like, "I don't care about being here," but then after that, it's a normal conversation.
Be the hardest questions to ever ask someone because you'd really have to think about thoughtful, insightful questions where you're like, "This guy's gonna fucking walk out on me if I don't ask him good stuff." All right, so you say that. What do you got, Trent?
I mean.
Yeah, Tiger for this show would be.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Really good. Tiger in an atmosphere where he'd be more open than he would be on a normal, media outlet. Because if you get Tiger in PR mode, you're not going to get anything. But if you get Tiger where he's like, all right, I'm open to answering some questions, he would be a must-have.
Yeah.
If we're doing non-golf, I might say Steve Carell, just because I'm such a fan. I think we're all such fans. Just like it would be almost like when fucking what's his name that plays the CEO, David Wallace, when he came into the office, I was like starstruck because you watch the show so much. So I can't even imagine Steve Carell.
Steve Carell would be fantastic.
In that same vein, I'm gonna piggyback off that one. Probably Will Ferrell, just because he's been such a part of my life forever and everyone's life.
Yeah.
He was like one of the first guys. I mean, Chris Farley, R.I.P. But
100%.
Will Ferrell after that was like he was like a comedy god. He still is. So he'd be on my list. How about you, Frankie?
Dave Grohl.
Okay.
Without a doubt. Just how he's navigated those waters, being the drummer for Nirvana, one of the best bands of all time, then starting Foo Fighters. I mean, come on. That guy is just... His storytelling is insane. And then second, I'd probably go Kim Jong-un. I think that'd be a big one.
That would do some numbies. I think that would do some numbies.
It'd be nice to know what's going on in that guy's brain. See if we can get him back.
You got any questions?
See if we can get him back to earth a little bit.
Boy, that's not a name I thought was gonna come up.
No,
I'm like reeling over here. Like for a second I thought I heard like the name wrong. Like, or I thought you meant somebody else, but you mean the leader of North Korea?
Well, yeah. I mean, why does every interview, like I said, who's your ultimate fucking guest on a podcast? Why does every guy have to be like some funny dude in a comedy? I'm talking that would change the world.
Would you be like, yo, Kim, you bring any nukes? Like, what are you?
No, I just I would do what the country needs me to do. I would fucking ask him the questions that need to be asked.
See, they made a movie about this.
Are you going to research?
This is a movie. Yeah, I would.
They literally made a movie about this.
Yeah, Seth Rogen and fucking.
Which Seth Rogen might be my third one.
Ooh.
I'm a big Seth Rogen fan.
Good one.
The interview is actually a pretty good movie.
It is. It's good.
I think this one might surprise people, but I think Taylor Swift. I would love to interview Taylor Swift.
It's very surprising.
I just think she is such a fucking megastar, and she's always popping up in headlines about battles with her own music. She writes her own music. Like, I just think she would be a really interesting person to interview.
Simp.
She's a great artist.
Oh, I know.
I remember
dude, she's actually really interesting. She used to fucking hide in luggage just to go from her car to her house to her car. They used to carry out fucking luggage and
give me that shit on this show. You know how fucking interesting that would be? I would love to interview Taylor Swift.
I'm trying to think of a real one.
Well, I remember when I was still with Robbie Fox, he asked me one time who would be the most starstruck, who would leave you the most starstruck if they walked into the office? Because we've had a lot of people come into the office, and you at a certain point you don't ever totally get used to it, but you see famous people and you're like, that's just a really famous person. And the answer I gave him at the time was Eminem. I don't know if I would necessarily want to.
Great one.
I mean, it'd be a great interview, but I think if I ever saw Eminem, I would be the most starstruck I could possibly be.
That'd be, I can't believe I'm looking at this guy in the flesh type moment.
Right, because I did. Right. I'm a big 50 Cent fan, obviously, and I met him that one time, and he wouldn't shake my hand. He was like, "Get away from my car," which was totally fine. That's kind of how you want it to be.
Wasn't he getting like a matcha drink?
No, he was outside by the matcha place, but he was in his Rolls Royce. But
that was Leo that used to go into that matcha place a lot, right?
We had this little matcha place. It was called it had a Cha-Cha Matcha, and it was no one in our office even used it, right? Like I think
we all went once, and we're like, it's not that good.
And I remember there just being all these ridiculous celebrity sightings.
Shaq went there.
Shaq, Leonardo DiCaprio, fucking.
I'd love to see that, man.
Yeah, but see, Shaq's more mainstream than these other people. Like they're all megastars, but like you've seen Shaq, like Shaq's on fucking TNT every week, so like you can hear Shaq talk. Like I would love to hear fucking.
Right, Eminem doesn't do interviews, really.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, not to pump another podcast, but I loved hearing Tom Hanks talk about like him going through fucking movies. Like he was talking about Castaway and fucking Forrest Gump and Big and Splash. And you're like, what the fuck? This is crazy that this guy's just describing everything that happened and like how some movies didn't almost make it and how it was pretty cool, man. And like, and they asked him like all these endings, like the ending of Castaway, like does he actually go back? Like to, you know, like the ending's very like, is it the
ambiguous?
Word ambiguous? I was gonna say conspicuous, but that's conspicuous, girl, right?
Yeah.
Promiscuous. Let's go to Bert, man. You know,
yeah,
that's how you got to end
but
it.
I liked
conspicuous girl.
That was a good.
What does conspicuous mean?
It's you're like
conspicuous girl.
Conspicuous, like standing out so as to be clearly visible,
all right,
attracting people.
Right, you don't blend in, or no? I don't know.
That kind of works too.
Obvious to the eye or mind.
Oh,
yeah, they're like an interested party that you're like intrigued to know more about it. I don't know. There's like, but it's like a negative connotation too. I feel like.
Right. I was gonna say it's almost like you're like sketchy. Like you're kind of you're sticking out in a sketchy manner. I would say.
Yeah.
It's like when my buddy Rob said "full belly red" at a date. You'll take the full belly red, please.
That's a conspicuous person. Did we all get 3? We
conspicuous move, yeah. Where people be like,
think about it. Are we ever going to do one of those segments that we came up with 8 months ago?
We've done a few, but not many.
I think we've done one segment, and it was the what would you take out of golf, the cut line or whatever. I'd like to do the
history once or twice. That was about it.
I'd like to do the format, the foursome one.
We almost sort of do that with Bert. And then he just leaves it aside. Like we each give one, which is very Bert. If you watch Two Bears, like he's like, all right, let's do dream foursomes. And then we each said like one, and then we never revisited it. We just kept plowing through.
Oh yeah, we got to get to the interview because it's a good interview. I really want people to get to it. They're probably done listening to us fucking talk.
I will say it's been tough to get anything really segments because it's like we're going to throw it to Bert and it's like, who are your top 3 guests in the history of the world?
We weren't going to do a segment right there. We're ready to go fucking drink matcha. I was just trying to give people a little more.
It can be tough to get stuff in sometimes. So that's
it's not tough to get stuff in. A ton of segments. It's not tough to get stuff in. I'm not allowed to
say that. I can't say that.
Half the time we fucking talk about bullshit because we don't have anything else to talk about. If we have stuff to talk about, then we won't talk about the bullshit. Give me the fucking segments. Let's go.
Frankie wants the segments.
I want the segments. I love those ideas. Let's go. We don't have to talk about my fucking elbow anymore. I'll talk about fucking foursomes.
We're going to throw it to the interview. Here's Bert. If you see an alligator on the course, the goal isn't to be the fastest, but to not be the slowest, which is true.
Yeah, that is true, actually.
Who's slowest in this group for sure?
Who do we think
I think I'm second.
You think you're second slowest?
Second fastest.
Okay.
Are you thinking it's me?
It's either you or Frankie.
Bro, I ran on the 4x1 team in high school.
You saw
Riggs is sneaky quick.
Riggs is fast. I know Riggs is fast.
You saw me run, Lurch. You ran after me on the green once, and you're like, "Wow, that was surprising." You've seen me run.
That's true, actually.
I think it's all pretty. I mean, I'll take it. I'm probably the slowest, but I don't think it's by a long shot.
Well, you're getting eaten if you're the slowest, so I'm just. I
don't think it's clear either. I don't know that it's clear. I think we might all 4 be sneaky fast on this show.
We should. The next time we're all together, we should absolutely race.
We're definitely racing.
Okay,
let's do a race.
I think Lurch wins.
No, Riggs is fast.
I'm pretty fast.
He's fast.
But Lurch has those fucking strides, man.
Are we talking 50 or 100 yards?
No, it can't be 100. That's
50,
insane.
Maybe 30.
No,
40.
50.
40.
Why did you
50.
skip like the common one?
40.
Because I've got a slow third gear, but then I can pick it up. That like 30 to 50 is when I started to hit my groove.
Really? That actually really surprised. I thought you were looking for a 15-yard dash or something.
No. But like then 70, I tire out. So I'm just like, you know what I mean? It's got to be
45.
We're not going to pick, well, I'll tell you this. We're not going to pick the one that's like your sweet spot. Like, we're just going to pick a number that, like the 40-yard dash is how you usually.
Right, we'll do 40 because then everybody can compare.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like if you pick 5 yards, that's my sweet spot. I'll beat everyone. So.
Trifecta keeps you lean so you can outrun your foursome if needed. So whoever, it seems like, according to this ad read, whoever's most committed to the trifecta diet from here on out is probably going to win this race. You spend 5 hours each weekend playing golf. You can spend 2 minutes a day preparing trifecta. You don't have to suffer to eat healthy. They've got a lot of convenience built in. You save a bunch of time. Science-backed nutrition. All Trifecta's meals follow scientific nutritional principles. Fresher food, farm to fork supply chain, never frozen, organic produce. Shop meal plans. Get yourself 40% off with code FORE, F-O-R-E, at trifectanutrition.com. That's 40% off when you shop meal plans. Use the code FORE, trifectanutrition.com.
You don't need those.
Did you get that from did you go to the roastery?
No, that's the thing Segura did.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
The high-end one where you go in
right
and...
here.
Are we rolling right now?
No shit.
We're recording the podcast?
In New York City.
We're rolling.
Are you shit? Are you
But it's
shitting
not
me?
around the block. Where is
Well,
I think there's a bunch of them, right?
No, there's a roastery. There's the spot.
Yeah.
It's where's the place? The High Line where you can walk around. Isn't it over by there?
I don't know where it is.
Lower West Side?
I know that I've never been there.
New York's changed so fucking much.
It's off next to Highland.
We did a fucking pizza review there. They have pizza inside.
Can I tell you, I just did Caleb Presley's show,
Sunday Conversation.
and he introduced us to High Noon, and we end up drinking them all day after that, and I think it might have affected my show. I literally think it might have affected my show.
I heard not only was it Caleb Presley, it was our guy Glenny Balls who introduced
Yeah, I
you to
love
High-
Glenny Balls. Jesus Christ, what's the over-under on him, 35?
All right, so we're rolling right now, right?
Yes.
All right, we've got Bert Kreischer in the building. It's an honor. I'm a big fan. I'm a big Two Bears fan.
Oh, thank you.
Very
Thank you.
excited
Thank
to have you
Thank
here. So did you just get to New York City?
We just pulled in like a couple hours ago.
You said New York has changed so much. What's changed so much about it?
I was trying to explain to my assistant Peter, because he's never been here, and like some things are the same, like the homeless guy who's bleeding from his head, like he hasn't left, but like other things like it seems like there's so many more high end shops around here than when I worked here. I worked right around here in the garment districts around here, and there was fucking nothing. There was nothing. You were always like everything was a little bodega. And now it's like there's a fresh pressed juicery. There's a clean. Everything is like healthier, it seems like. But then I'm not even thinking about the pandemic, because I'm like, how many people left this fucking city?
Well, that's the thing. So where we are, all the shops around here, everything closed. The thing next door, the Panera across the street,
Really?
like everything went away. So I think things are starting to come back, and they might be the higher end variety.
I like that.
I went into a Panera. And
Is that called? What's that called?
Gentrification.
I love it. I love it.
What's that called? There's a term
Do
for
people
that.
not like gentrification?
I don't
feels
know.
like a bad word.
It does.
Yeah.
It seems like a word that you shouldn't enjoy, but then
Seems
I
like
go.
an elitist word almost.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
something like
It feels like a word that's
like we
like
can't
Okay,
do that.
ready? Let's do some words that
Oh, boy.
probably
Word association.
words that
association
get
is a
you
bad game.
canceled. Okay? No. This will be fun. Words that you hear people say and you go, like, I'll tell you a word that you're not allowed to use. Meritocracy. Do you know what that is?
It's like the talent rises to the top.
Yeah. And it like flies in the face of critical race theory, I think. Yeah. So you're like, when you hear someone use the word meritocracy and you're like, oh, that makes sense. And they're like, no, you're a racist. You're like, okay, never mind. My bad.
That's
Dude,
right up there.
I followed this guy. I'm in my bunk today and I'm watching this guy, and he's like a fucking right-wing lunatic. And then I was like, fucking, let's see if any of my friends follow him, right?
Yeah.
So I go, he follows me.
Oh, no.
I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I think another word like that is patriarchy. I think.
Patriarchy is a big one. Patriarchy.
Anybody else want to offer any up, or we can
Yeah,
all move on to
got
something else?
nothing for
Yeah,
you.
no,
Look
this
how
is
scared we get. It's like, I just want to stay out of everyone's crosshairs.
right. You just
Right,
push to the
that's
back
it.
of the room. You
Yeah.
just throw 'em out of the picture.
You do that Homer Simpson into the bushes.
Yes. So you do this whole. You're on a tour bus, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
How's that life? Do you enjoy that?
I love it. I love it more than anything. Last night, this is what I love about it, because it's just comics, and all we want to do is giggle. And last night, they put streamers up all in the bus. I'm not going to do this justice. They put streamers all on the bus, and we're drunk and we're high. And someone said, and I said, who put up the streamers? And they go, well, I meant something else. The kid bought something else, but finally we got him back to get streamers. I go, did you walk in the bus and it was a bunch of women yelling at the top of your lungs, and you were like, I meant streamers, not screamers. It was silly, right?
Yes.
That lasted for 30 minutes
Yeah, it sounds
until
right.
I said, did you walk? We kept going. Did you walk in the bus? And we were in our bunks. It is fucking 4 a.m. We are crying, laughing. And we're like, did you open the door? And a bunch of people were just selling handbags, dime bags of marijuana. And you're like, I said streamers, not misdemeanors. And then I said, was it just a bunch of thighs? And you're like, I said streamers, not femurs. We could not stop laughing about it. And that's what I love about a bus.
Yeah. That's just what it is all the time.
Sounds like a locker room, honestly. It's just buddies.
Well, we have a girl on the bus for the first time.
Okay.
How's that going?
Amazing. Like, I told her last night that I didn't think it would be, because I was like excited. I don't want women around because I want guys. Always I want guys. It was me and her at the end of the night, back and forth. Back bunk to front bunk, just could not let go of this joke.
Yeah.
And then this morning, she woke up with a brand new one, and we were. I mean, it's like I love it. I love it. But it's her too. She's also hilarious. Rosebud Baker.
And she's opening for you.
She's opening. Shane Torres is, and Jesus Trejo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I bring to see the country, right?
It's
maybe
amazing.
The best way.
So during the pandemic, I did a thing called I created a tour where you do drive-in movie theaters.
Yep, I remember that.
And at first, I think everyone thought it was a bad idea. Then, and some people did it and did not like it. Like Segura didn't like it. Jay Leno didn't like it. A lot of people didn't like it. I loved it. I loved it because you got to see the country in the middle of a pandemic, and you got out of your house. And we stayed at KOAs, like where you pull in.
Yeah.
And we saw some of the most beautiful parts of this country, and it was like a slice of life where you're like, you're not going to get that again. Like where the roads were wide open,
right.
People were coming out and they were being distant, and they were like pull their car in, and they hadn't gone out in a while, so they'd set up like a literally campground in the back of their cars. Everyone would get there at 6. The show didn't start till 9.
Right.
They start pre-partying,
Tailgate,
smoking, tailgating, because no one had anything to tailgate for. So like, granted, I think the shows were probably less than par.
Love it.
But I say that because you're in a rock quarry, you're in a parking lot in Philly. We did where the vet used to be. Mm-hmm. We did like 2,000 cars, and that is less than ideal for comedy. However, if you haven't been out of the house,
it's awesome.
And it was so people just the only email I got was, I was so grateful. Thank you so much for doing it. And we all got in the bus. We stayed in a bubble. No one left our bubble. And no one got COVID, and it was fucking the greatest experience. It was the greatest experience.
Yeah, and you, we saw you were at Lambeau recently. Is that so? We just
did that tour.
So we went to the Ryder Cup. We went to the Ryder Cup at Whistling Straits.
Stop.
And then it's like an hour away, and they were like, "Hey, we set this thing up for media. If you guys want to go," and we're like, "Fuck yeah, we'll go."
It was like an hour and a half drive, and everyone's like, "Do we really want to do it?" And I said, "Do we really want to do it?"
Of course.
We're about to go to Lambeau Field at night, where with no game. It's just gonna be us and the lights and the cold Wisconsin air, and we're gonna walk through the fucking tunnel of Lambeau Field, and you don't want to do it.
It's a cathedral.
Oh my god!
Dude, it's that morning I woke up and I realized I didn't understand that I was playing. That I had started playing arenas. I just didn't know. Like, and then I get there, and I think it's the Bosch Center is like where the hockey team plays, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm across the street from Lambeau.
Yeah.
Like I just figured I'd be in a theater downtown somewhere. Bosch sounds theatery, and I was like, I'm gonna go take a jog around Lambeau. So I get up, I put on my workout clothes, I get a coffee, I start walking over, and I was like, this is fucking Lambeau. Like, I'm on the outside.
Right.
Groundskeeper comes up to me. He's like, yo, Bert, can I get a picture? I'm like, yeah, of course. I keep walking, and a truck full of Green Bay Packers going to practice. So I see them, and I go, and in my head, I'm like, oh shit, it's the Green Bay Packers. You know, like, I'm still a kid.
Moment.
And they're like, machine. And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, this is Russia.
Then I get a text from Aaron Rodgers. He's like, where are you? And I'm like,
holy shit.
Dude, it was the greatest fucking day of my life. Ending with, and I know this probably sounds horrible now, but ending with Aaron Rodgers sitting in my tour bus for an hour and a half, just chopping it up, talking shit, having a good time, and
no way.
Yeah, it was
ultimate Packers experience.
Yeah,
it was the ultimate Packers. Not to mention we saw Lambeau, but like the ultimate Packers experience. It was so fucking fun. And he gave me a jersey, signed it. I was texting with him last night.
Holy shit,
dude! It was the greatest experience in the world.
Is it crazy that there's houses like right
there?
Next to it? Like someone's backyard is Lambeau.
We were thinking, you have that house. You obviously it becomes a party house. You can't live there, right?
Well, unless they're one of those assholes where like they don't, and like big businesses come in and the one house is right in the middle. Like, are these people like trying? Are they out there just like having little picnics with their families and like ignoring Lambeau?
I'm
like,
sure
right
the Packers have offered them millions of dollars to move their home. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's certainly a party house on Sundays.
Because when we used to Buck Stadium, all the houses that that were around Buck Stadium, the Sombrero, they were all just like parking lots. Like they'd rent their house out game day.
Yep.
And then I was like, so if you have a house there, why not set up like almost like a little like party place where everyone can come in and you can park, you can party, you grill meat,
family Airbnb.
Open up a fucking taco truck. Like I mean,
turn into a business on Sundays.
Right.
Fuck yeah.
Do you get to? So it's obviously a golf podcast. Do you get to play a lot on the tour? Do you put that into your tour? Like, do you want to be able to experience different
Do you
courses?
like golf at all?
So no, by the way, I'm a huge
guy.
golfer. I'm a huge golfer. I just got done surgery, so I haven't been able to hit any clubs yet. But the first time I'm going to swing a club is tomorrow morning at Fenway.
What?
They're letting me hit golf balls at Fenway. I don't
Like a pitching wedge out of the.
No, I don't know. I think it's like a top golf experience.
No.
Oh my
Sometimes they do that at sports stadiums where they like set it up with different targets and everything like that. So they must be doing that at Fenway.
Yeah, they're doing it at Fenway, and then that'll be the first time I swing a club again. But so during the pandemic, yes.
Right.
But what we were doing was we were just getting balls because we were in fields. We were in like huge fields. So I played over at Scottsdale National.
Yeah.
And so I got fitted for PXGs.
Okay.
So I had these PXGs and I had gotten fitted by TaylorMade also. So I had TaylorMades and PXGs fitted for me, but everyone was hitting them, and we were crushing balls in the middle of fields and like we get practice balls and then go see if we can find them, but usually not.
So speaking of, you had surgery, right? Because Frankie had
I had an elbow surgery.
We saw a video last night.
I just took my first swing yesterday. I was nervous.
But how long ago did you get elbow surgery?
a month.
25 days ago. Dude, I want to talk to you about this.
Wait, hold on. What did you get?
I got ulnar nerve transposition surgery. It's your funny bones. So my fingers were going fucking numb. I couldn't feel my fucking fingers anymore.
You're gonna give me a
my elbow. My elbow was a nightmare. They say that you can get this injury as simple as just driving a car, like your elbows, or you fall asleep on a plane like this. It goes into. Oh, I just hit it and it just fucking
But he did was he held a pizza review camera for 4 years.
I mean, I was filming Dave
Dave
Portnoy for 5 years, so it's like this. And it's just fucking went numb. My hand went numb. So they go in, they get the nerve, they move it. I'm an idiot, and I just listened to you on your podcast that you were saying that you think that surgery is a little bit more serious than you thought it was, and I'm in the same boat. I didn't take it seriously enough.
So Gabby,
at
I
all.
would say you're still not taking it seriously.
Gabby Reese and Laird Hamilton, right?
Yeah.
So Gabby called me after I got out of surgery. She was like, "Hey, I'm worried about you," and I was like, "Why?" I go, "I'm fine. I'm not drinking. I just had a surgery. I'm good."
That's the solve all.
Yeah. Well, if I don't drink, I'm fucking superhuman. Like no one can keep up with me if I don't drink. I'm like
the only
I'm
thing
on a
that keeps you
different
down.
fucking level. I swear to God, when I don't drink, I wake up like $1 million. I'm annoying as fuck. I'm a pain in the fucking ass.
Yeah, dude, because your brain's like, finally. It's like, thank you.
Dude,
now we can work.
I get healthy as shit really quick. Like,
Yeah.
And so I remember on my 40th birthday, the month leading up to my 40th birthday, my wife's like, "Why don't we take a month off of not drinking your home? Let's do a cleanse." I lost 12 pounds the first day. 12 fucking pounds the first day. I was just doing a cleanse. By the way, today I'm gonna start a juice cleanse after this coffee, and I'm doing Vino November, so I'll do wine. But I'm gonna start a juice cleanse. It rips off me when I don't eat like shit. If I just can, that's how I lost weight the original time. I'm getting back to your answer.
That's okay.
The original time I was just doing Xanax and Ambien, just offsetting them. And just not eating, just sleeping. And
I'm trying to follow that.
I lost like 40 pounds in a month. And still lost the weight loss challenge. But yes, so Gabby Reese was like, "Hey, just so you know, when they put you under, they're technically killing you." Right. I was like, "Really?" I remember the guy saying to me when I got out, and he was like, I coughed, and he went, "Oh yeah, cough it up." And in my head, I was like, I have sensitive lungs. Like, I can't be around vaping. I'm not going to be around vaping, but I can be around like a Juul, but if someone's like hitting the one that goes, I end up feeling it. And so I coughed, no joke. I had a nagging cough for 3 months because I felt like I was getting all that shit out of my lungs still. And it was like what I needed to do was run, and I wasn't allowed to do any exercise.
Right.
But it fucks you up, man. I'm the fattest I've ever been right now, and it's all because of that goddamn surgery.
Right.
Because I couldn't use my arm. There's depression was involved because you're like, You're panic, trauma. Like when I got out my nerve. Did you have a nerve agent on your arm where they block your nerve?
They didn't do anything for me.
So what surgery did you have exactly? Like
I ripped all the tendons off, not all of them, over half of the tendons off my tricep.
Yeah, that's a real surgery.
Yeah, and it had retracted. I did it in Serbia filming my movie.
Right.
And I did it like a month and a half before my surgeries, because I'm not getting surgery in Serbia, for Christ's sake. No offense, Serbia, but I don't think you want it there either. And it had retracted into my arm, so they had to pull it down. Ooh. And it was and they gave me a nerve block, and I got home that night after the surgery, and I couldn't feel my hand. And you ever meet a guy? Oh, it's my agent. He was talking about tickets for UFC tonight. You ever meet a guy who goes, "Yeah, man, I lost feeling in my arm and I just cut it off," and you're like, "Why would you do that?"
Yeah.
I know why you do that. It is when you couldn't feel your hand. It is fuck that. I was panic attack all night. Because they're like, you should get feeling in 6 hours. 6 hours goes by nothing. 12 hours goes by nothing. 17 hours, and I'm like, I'm cutting the arm off.
Dude, is the nerve block because it's so painful if you were to feel it? So they're just like, you don't get feeling while it heals?
They were like, trust me, you want the nerve block. And the guy goes, trust me, if it lasts for like 2 days, call us, and then we'll be concerned. But he goes, if you can get it to last for 2 days, you're a lucky man. And I went, really? He goes, it'll wear off. It's going to wear off. You're going to be fine. But, in 2 days, call us. But if you get 2 days, you're a lucky man. And I was like, fuck that. And then it started in the middle of the night. I started being able to, like, because you can't move your hand. You're saying to yourself, move your hand, and you can't move it.
That's so fucking weird.
That's horrible.
You're going like this, move.
And
then you're going like,
screaming at it?
Yeah. And then it starts to wear off.
So is it something in your brain? They actually block like the idea?
They block the nerve in your back. Dude, I was filming a video when he put it in. He put it in, and I was filming a video. My arm went like this, and it collapsed. And I went, "What the fuck did you do?" And so he, and then I was like, "Oh, cool, I'm getting movement." And then I'm like feeling it I'm feeling it come alive here. And then I'm like, nice. And then it goes to my elbow, and I'm like searing fucking pain. I'm like, oh, I want that nerve block back. But they wouldn't give me good pain pills because they knew who I was, and so they were like, nah.
Dude, I know this guy. He's an old dude. He just got his leg taken off. And he says he could still feel his fucking toes. Right?
No.
So he has no... Bro, I'm telling you.
No leg says he can feel his toes. His
This
toes
is a
are
brand new surgery.
He's got him in a box. He's right here.
Bro, it's a brand new surgery. Something about your brain. Like, you have to get used to not having a leg. Like
Phantom limb syndrome.
Yes, he feels itching.
That's a thing?
He feels an itch on the bottom of his foot, and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
It makes you go fucking insane.
Yeah, that's a different level of insanity.
You think about, I think about Tiger. This is a golf podcast.
Yeah.
You think about all the surgeries he's had.
Yeah.
Like, that dude has destroyed his body. Like, destroyed his body.
He's had a tough
and I
15
respect
years.
the fuck out of that. Like, you go, you look at, fucking Greg Norman. He's still scuba diving. He's, fucking living on a yacht. He's looks great. He's having cocktails.
Huge cock.
Part of me goes, you didn't work hard enough, buddy. Unless you're Tiger hobbling onto the fucking
knee shredded, back fused.
He's gonna do 2 canes, moving around.
Dude. Okay, let's do this. Best foursome that you could play with. Pro foursome.
Has to be pros?
Not current. They can be retired.
But they had to have played.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Whoop. So, look, Whoop's great because it gives you a lot of information on your body. So you might think, you might have a little bit of a feeling how your body's doing, how recovered you are, how much sleep you're getting. But you don't really know. You don't know how to optimize it. You're not sure what's better for you, exactly when you should go to sleep, when should you wake up, should you try to be doing this or that a little bit better. Whoop is the answer to all of that. I was laughing with some friends this past weekend. I was at a wedding in Austin, having a nice time, and we all decided to look at our graphs, and they're all incredibly similar from your recovery over the week, and it just goes green at the beginning of the week, starts to get a little bit yellow, and then, Saturday, Sunday, you wake up just a dead person. And then again, Monday after a nice sleep, Sunday, you kind of have a full recovery. This whole thing gives you, and they give you push notifications now too about, what time. I get a nice notification. It's like, hey, in the next hour or two, you really should try to get to bed. And it just helps you. It helps you kind of keep your body at the highest performance rate with all the things that you like to do in your life as best as you possibly can.
My graph actually exposes me for how lame I am. My Saturday and Sundays are high in the greens because I just like sit and I don't do anything. I just like drink a lot of water and I get good rest. So my Saturday and Sundays there, I mean, one of these looks like it's 91%. So I had a pretty good weekend in terms of sleep. I got 8 hours and 19 minutes of sleep last night. That's the best part of Whoop for me. Now that I know, or it tells me how much sleep I get every night, I cannot even imagine not knowing how much sleep I get. Because then I really do base my day off, oh, Riggs got 8.5 hours of sleep last night. That's really
crushed
good.
It last night. I'll say it's easier out here because we're 2 hours behind. So it's like Sunday Night Football is over by 9 o'clock or whatever.
Oh, and we've got daylight savings going on now. So I didn't make it. I fell asleep at 10:28 last night because my body was like, we usually go to bed at 11:30. So now it's happening.
No more sunsets after 5 p.m. That's a nightmare.
Yeah. Well, Riggs also just entered the time where he's 2 hours behind us. So you change from Pacific time to Mountain time. That's why Arizona, it's like, just pick one.
Arizona just doesn't. No, they just don't do daylight savings. Arizona's stance is like, how come you guys are all flipping your clocks and shit around? We're the only ones doing it. We just, whatever the time is, the time is.
It's amazing.
When did they part ways on that? Because it's just annoying for like meetings and all the stuff that normal people have to do over the course of the day. You guys are just out.
They're probably looking at us like, why aren't you guys doing what we're doing?
100%. We didn't change anything. Like, we're not changing anything.
First? Whoever was first is right, Maya.
No, like, you guys had to be first because you guys are the only ones changing things. Actually, I would say Arizona was clearly first because everyone was just living all the time. And then the rest of the world was like, we're just going to change all of the clocks in the world for half the year. Everyone's like, why the fuck are you doing? What do you mean?
But why is Arizona allowed to be the only ones that don't do that?
Because they've taken a stand.
So they're just pretentious douchebags.
The conversation around these states always is the conversation around
49 states, and they're the only one. 49 other states are literally just adhering to the rules.
But the conversation surrounding these dates is always like, why do we still do this? And Arizona's way back up in the corner being like, we don't do it anymore.
Does that make them like right or wrong? What do you think about that? You like that they do that?
I would prefer if the time always stayed the same. And I don't like it where we're at now because as we head into winter, it gets dark so early and it's just yuck. I hate that.
So you like that one state that doesn't do it?
I think they've made a stand on something that's important and that I think everyone should follow. Yeah.
Doesn't affect you, Frankie. You could just let Arizona do whatever they want.
I know. I'm just sometimes, I don't know. If it was any state, I'd just be like, what the fuck are these guys doing?
But they're right.
No, I don't know if they're right.
Oh, your big daylight savings.
No, it's just
defend.
Yeah, why
right or wrong in this? It's like it's just the time of the day. You just have a different hour, so you now make it difficult on the rest of the people that aren't doing that hour.
Let's talk about vaccines next. I could see a connection here. One guy doesn't want to do it. Everyone else is doing the vaccine.
Ooh, boy, I think that's a podcast.
Okay,
I'll say Pam as my name.
Okay.
Whoop can help. Right now, Whoop is offering 15% off going on right now with the code FOREPLAY at checkout. That's one word, FOREPLAY at checkout. You go to whoop.com, enter FOREPLAY, save 15%, WHOOP.com, FOREPLAY, 15% off. Get all kinds of information on your sleep, which is getting trickier now if you're in Arizona, but if you're somewhere else, maybe it isn't because you guys are on the same time zone, which is what we're talking about, which is how we got to Whoop, which is how you get 15% off because you're listening to the show Foreplay. You put that code in and you get 15% off. You go to whoop.com.
Do you want to go first?
Tiger Woods is.
Tiger's in all of ours. At least he's definitely in all of ours.
He's in all of ours,
okay. I'm also putting Rory in mine. I love Rory. I'm a big Rory guy. I think he'd be a good time.
It's his walk. You ever see his walk? He's got this cocky walk to him. He bounces. And there's something about it when you're at a tournament and you see him, you could just see the top of someone's head bouncing. You're like, that's Rory.
He's got a baseball bat between his legs. He walks like he walks as confident as possible. I'm trying to think who else. Do you have anybody else who would definitely be in yours?
Yeah, see, okay. Immediately I want like Bryson. I want Brooks. I mean, that's all the guys playing right now I'm a big fan of.
Yeah.
Dustin, I want all them. But if we're going to be honest, I mean, no doubt John Daly.
I was going to say, it feels like you and John Daly would get along great.
Dude, can I tell you, I have a chance of meeting and playing with John Daly.
Are you going to do it?
Are you fucking kidding me?
What?
So the guys at Loudmouth, you know Loudmouth?
Yeah, the clothing company.
Yeah, I know them. We were talking about doing something together. And it was funny, they bought... We did an auction to play around the golf, but I had surgery, so I couldn't play. But I had already sold the opportunity to play in a foursome with me. So I told him, I said, I'm going to have a sub play for me for our team, but I'm going to come here. And I told the guy, I said, hey, man, I'm really sorry that I can't play. I apologize. And he goes, I got to be dead honest with you. I just want to drink with you. And I was like, well, I can do that too. And so we got fucking wasted, had a blast. And he told me, he's like, he goes, selfishly, I'm doing this out of business. I want to do something with you. He goes, I think you're right for Loudmouth. I know you're into golf. Yep. I think we should collab. And I was like, let's do it. And I said, selfishly, I just want to meet John Daly. And he was like, literally, that can happen. He's in Clearwater at a bar every night. And I was like, done. I fucking love John Daly.
Would you let him hit a ball out of your mouth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I have... Yeah, because fuck yeah, I would. Just because of the picture.
Right. Like, even if it goes south, which would be horrible.
Dude, it went south for him. He put a fucking... He put a T in his fucking asshole. No, it was out of your ass.
Well, so first she hit a ball out of my mouth. That was a couple of years ago, and then years after that, she put a T in my ass.
Dude,
and
pull
she
up
hit.
the picture.
I'll pull the picture.
Pull up the picture.
Took a chunk out of my ass.
Wait until you see
bad
what
ones.
It was just a big bruise on my ass.
You will never
you want
believe.
A skill shot out of that.
But I'm glad she did that when it was in my ass and not with my face.
If she hits you in the head, you're dead.
Oh yeah.
She'll take your jaw off.
Driver, maybe not. Yeah. You think you'd live?
Well, I'm not gonna let her hit a fucking wedge out of her mouth.
Take a little divot out of your cheek.
Well, that was a question.
Are those door blades?
We talked about this the other day on the podcast. If we were in a fight, what club would you go to the fight with?
Hold on, we got the video here.
Boy.
That's
You should have taken the boxers.
Oh,
man.
And then there should be
The jiggle is unreal.
She just walks away.
Look at
She
this.
feels so bad.
Dude, she smacked that so hard.
And it threw both cheeks.
It's just me. Then there's a picture on my Instagram of the bruise that it left me. It bruised up right away.
Is it still up there?
I follow Paige Brannick.
Yeah, she's great. We've done a bunch of videos with her.
Yeah, I think I'm like a closeted golfer. Like, I don't think people think I golf because I party the way I do. But yeah, I love.
Do you party on the golf course?
Come on. I mean, yeah.
Well, I didn't know if that was like your one place of serenity.
That's your healing spot.
Yeah.
You do 4 hours of like, let's get it back together.
My whole life, all through high school, every Saturday, Sunday, I had to wake up at like 5:30 in the morning to get out to the course, be the first ones out at like 6:10 with my dad and his buddies. And we would play a round of golf so fucking fast. I mean, like, not even joking. I'll call my dad, and it's astounding how fast we play golf. Hang on. I got it. I thought you were calling my dad. You have my dad's number?
There's that bruise. That's what happened.
Tough.
That is rough, dude. That reminds me of getting paddled.
Oh, yeah, you guys got paddled for that live show.
Oh, well, yeah. But no, but
I was thinking
paddled.
that bear attack on the show.
We got paddled.
Up your ass that way.
Good morning.
Hey, Dad, listen, I'm on a podcast. When I was a kid, we'd play golf with in the mornings. How fast did we play around 18?
About 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Depending if you lost a lot of balls.
Yeah. All right, I love you. I'll talk to you later.
Were you guys running?
Hour and 9?
Lying. My dad was a big advocate of ready golf.
Yeah.
He was like,
But you gotta be playing some decent golf to play in 2 hours.
That group? There's
Yeah,
4
yeah.
people playing in 2 hours.
4 people. Everyone's
hitting at the same time.
But dude,
no.
I mean, at a certain point, to play in 2 hours, it's like.
Oh, we would fly.
Dude, that's tee to green golf. There's no searching for balls. Like, you guys are playing some pretty good.
I was a really good golfer when I was younger.
Right, you have to be to be playing that
Yeah.
fast.
I remember we played Hilton Head one time, and I was like, at the turn, I was under par, and I was like, and my dad's like, buddy, you're fucking crushing it right now. This is maybe my freshman year in college, and then as I went in college, this is gonna sound weird. There's like a Dave Matthews effect, and I hate to use Dave Matthews. I like Dave Matthews, but as people started picking up golf, I started walking away from it because I was like, I'm watching my friends learn golf, and I'm like, I'm not playing with you. Like, I want to play with people that can play, and so I started stepping away from it, and then I became a guy that people didn't know I played golf, and then you'd watch me play. Like, they go, Bert, you want to play? And I'd be like, yeah, I'll play with you guys. And I'd get there, and they go, oh, you got nice clubs. I'd be like, oh, thanks. And then I'd tee off, and I've always been able to hit the ball very long, and they'd be like, holy shit, this is a perfect example. And by the way, I'll call this guy just so that we're clear.
I love it.
And by the way, so.
We don't think you're lying to us by any
means. So we're in Serbia, and my exec for the movie grew up in Augusta, so golfer. And he's like, hey, we should go play golf. And I was like, okay. So there's one golf course in Belgrade. It's far out. It is a hardcore municipal course. Like, I mean, it is. You at times you just see a bunch of flags in a field, and you're like, okay. But the greens are all like three. No par 4 is. I want to say no par 4 is over 350.
Wow.
So every green's drivable. Every green is drivable. And so we get out there. All he knows that he's making a movie about me and I party my balls off. And I know the guy. He's a good friend of mine now. We bring a bunch of rosé out, and we have to rent clubs. We have to rent clubs in Serbia.
Oh,
and if you think the course is bad, the clubs are worse. The balls were horrible. They had one set of balls you could pick from. They were like, oh yeah, there you go. The kind you'd get at like Big 5. So we go out to the first hole, and I'm like, it's a dogleg over water, but I'm like, even when they measure it, I go, I think this is very drivable. First hole, I drive the green, and I drive very close to the fucking pin.
Holy shit.
And he's like, what? No, but it's not. Like, if you played it, you'd do the same thing. Anyone in America that has a decent game would be like, I think I can reach it.
Okay.
We played 9 holes. I swear to God, I drove 4 greens. Wow. And the other ones were like, up by the bunker, like it was just so fucking easy. And he was like, this is fucking crazy. I've never seen this before. And I was like, no, it's just like, I've always been able to hit it. I've always been able to hit my drives long. I have good club speed. But yeah, so when I'd play with people, they'd always be like, what the fuck? And
yeah.
Like, no, you just think it's just like deceptive, like the fact that I can run a marathon and people are like, what? And you're like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Mind over matter sometimes.
It's a good place to be because you never want to have expectations on the golf course. Like, you don't want people to have expectations of a good golf game because then you're always disappointing them.
Oh, I just did that. I told everyone I'm amazing.
Right.
Yeah. Now
going forward,
yeah.
people are going to be
going forward, everyone's going to be like, this I got to see.
Right. You were in a good spot.
I was in a good spot.
Every person you shocked.
Yeah.
Now it's like, well, I heard you could hit 4 greens in Serbia.
We used to play when I first moved to LA, we played every day 36 holes. Every fucking day.
Did you have like the same crew that you'd go out with?
Me, Gary Valentine, I think Kevin James used to play sometimes with us, Scott Henry, and this guy Jackie. Like but me and Gary were every day, same cart. We were like best friends, and we played 36 holes every fucking day, gambled, and that's when my game got really fucking good. Like when I was 27, 26, dude, I was on the course, and I had money, and I didn't have a TV show, and I was just like, and they opened this place called Robinson Ranch, and they give us memberships for $5,000. $5,000 cash. You can have a membership. You can play as much as you want. And Kevin James and Gary were at the course, and they're like, Bertsky, we're putting you in for $5,000. You in? And I was like, I'm in. And they just paid it. I paid them back, and it was awesome. Eric Dickerson used to play out there. It was like it was like who's who of like Hollywood retired people, and then me and Gary Valentine. It was awesome, man. Now my daughter is playing golf for her high school, and she's in the state championships.
Holy shit!
Yep. Well, hold on.
Okay.
Let's pump our brakes. I think this may speak to the level of golf in Los Angeles. She's been playing for about 7 months.
Okay.
And she is competing at a pretty high level because I don't think the levels great.
Or she has a ringer on her team.
I haven't played with her yet. My daughter Isla, they say, is better, but she's younger. George is a senior. And I'm playing with her for the first time Thanksgiving with my dad and my daughters. I've never played with them.
That'll be interesting.
Oh, I can't wait to fucking destroy them.
You won't let up on them?
Dude, I'm broken that way. I remember playing tennis with this girl I dated one time in college, and I just was fucking just killing her. She was like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm beating you.
I'm winning this match."
Yeah, I'm like, "What the fuck did you want me to do?" And she was like, "Well, I don't know. I go, we can volley. If you want to volley, we can do that. But if you want to play a game, what am I supposed to let you win?" And I was like, "That's not how games work. Games work where someone beats someone because they're better than them." She was like, "But let me win a few." And I go, "No, that's not. What am I just supposed to go? Oh, you like what
Get better.
I did the same thing. Yeah. I actually played a girlfriend in tennis, and we were just like rallying. But then she just announced the score one time. She was just like, "It's 5-2," and I was like, "What did you?" And then it was just full systems go, and I was just crushing my serve at her, crushing overheads, and just like not even being friendly. I was just like, "Give me the ball. Let's keep this going."
Dude, the best. Have you ever seen me play cigar in tennis?
Oh yeah,
that motherfucker. And then this is the way my brain operates. And everyone knows this about me, at least my close friends. He's like, I'm taking tennis lessons. And I was like, I'll destroy you. And he goes, wait, you've never seen me play? And I said, you've never seen me play. I'll destroy you. And he was like, hold on. What if I'm good? And I go, I'm better. I'll destroy you. And he was like, great, we're doing a tennis match. I aced him maybe 45 times. I'm not even joking. He could not get his racket onto the ball. He was swinging and missing, and it would hit the side and shoot up in the air. And he was like, and it stopped being funny very quickly. And everyone first like, come on, Tom. And then it was just so.
Got sad.
His tennis coach, he had a coach. His tennis coach is like, I can't help you, man. He's like, he's got a Division I serve. He's like, and then that was my second service. My first service was like fucking like I have a very strong. But this is what I'm doing is bragging about my white privilege. I grew up on a country club, so like obviously all the trappings of like I'm a really good swimmer, I'm a good golfer, I'm a good tennis player, and that's it.
You play pickleball?
One of my biggest passions in this world right now is pickleball. We travel with a pickleball court on our bus.
Shut up. Let's go play.
This guy over here loves pickleball.
He's a paddle player, man.
Yeah, paddle tennis.
Love. Have you seen the one they do in
Spain?
Spain?
Yeah.
Where they get
Padel? Yes, they go outside the glass cage.
Damn it, dude.
I've never played that. I would love to play
so
bad. So
Can
bad.
I tell you, I want to get into badminton now. Badminton looks fucking badass.
I watched a video on like the best badminton player of all time. That's a game.
Dude, we would go when we were. This is how great the pandemic tour was. We would go and
tour was a huge word.
Tour was big.
Yeah. We would take our bus into just a parking lot, and we would just use the lines for parking spaces as our lines, and just spray paint because chalk is so fucking hard. Spray paint a court in the middle of a target, and then be like, great, we got our court. And then we would play, and then we just leave. And if anyone else would be like, what is that? But anyone that knew pickleball would be like, that's a good pickleball.
It's a good setup right there.
Regulation pickleball court. Yeah, dude, I love pickleball.
It's a great game.
I love it.
I was telling these guys, my brother and I, we entered a pro tournament down in Florida, and we got.
So wait, how good is good? Because
no. So we got waxed. We took their first group to like a tiebreak or whatever. Like you played a 15, I think.
Yeah.
So I think I was like 16, 14. But then we dropped off, and then we did the brother thing where you want to kill one another, who's fall two, and then it really dropped off the table. But
that's the best.
I'll play any racket game under the sun.
We got really into ping pong in Serbia.
Another good one.
We had a ping pong table, and I never really played much ping pong. But if you're a racket guy, then everything comes pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And that guy Kale that I said, he is a hardcore racket guy. And then one of our guys that worked on the thing was like, "Oh, I'm in," and he shows up and he has a ping pong racket that is weighted and the head's this big, and he goes, I practice on this one. And we're like, oh, this dude's a gamer. And then this German dude and this Dutch guy came in, and they were ballers. And they would listen to Rammstein when they played. It was like, dude, it was, oh, God, I want to
love all your
we got a ping pong
Serbia,
table here.
everything.
they go crazy.
There's a thing called
black
stool
hole.
streams in here, and we just play ping pong all day, and they basically just film us like in tournaments.
Live
It's the
stream,
greatest thing that's ever happened to me in my
I
life.
think I've seen that.
Yeah, it's just like to be able to play backyard games for competition and people get to watch you and like bet on it. It's just the coolest thing of all time.
What
These
just
fucking
happened?
lights.
I'm having a
Who did
stroke.
we talk to the other day? Was it Bubba that said someone had a backhanded ping pong?
Oh, it
serve?
was
Matt Every. No,
but he said Kuchar does, or no?
Oh, Kuchar's supposed
no,
to
it's
be a
Berger,
stud.
Daniel Berger, golfer Daniel Berger. They play a lot of ping pong. He has a two-handed ping pong
backhand.
Interesting.
And they said you've never seen anything like it.
said
He
it hits
actually
every time.
attacks it with the two hand and with the top spin. I'm like, how does he get two hands on the
Right,
little?
it feels like you can't pivot fast enough to go over here and then here.
No.
I think there is a theory to be made that the greats in any sport were left with that sport bored. Meaning, like,
Yeah.
like
they had to think about it and do it their own way.
like I feel like like when I played Tom in tennis, I felt like what the advantage I had was all those summers from like 3rd grade to 8th grade where I was left at a tennis court by myself, and I was waiting for my mom to pick me up.
Calling yourself one of the greats right now.
And you're just sitting there going, yeah, I am calling myself. No, but I'm just sitting there going like fucking around with a ball, seeing what I can do with a tennis ball and a racket, and then one day you implement that into your game, and you're like, oh shit, like Tiger.
Totally.
Tiger is one of those guys who was just sitting at a course all day long and was like, well, fuck.
Maybe this will work.
Yeah, maybe I'll just
try
fuck
it.
around, and then you start fucking around, and I think that is what leads to like greatness in sports is just being bored with your like just sitting. Like, do you remember when you fell in love with golf? I remember when I fell in love with golf, and I was laying in bed, and I had the balls we played with, and I was in bed with the balls, and I was rolling them around. It was in Philadelphia. I was probably 10. Oh no, it must have been, no. Yeah, I was probably 10 years old, maybe 9, and we had played golf at this place called Aronimick, and I had the balls left. And my uncle and my cousins were all members, and they brought me. I was from Florida, and I remember looking at it was Pinnacle balls, and I was just, and they were like yellow. They looked like Caddyshack. I remember it was Caddyshack had not just come out. I think it just come out maybe, and I fell in love with golf, and it's like I couldn't get enough. I wanted to get back out and do it, and I think that. I wonder if that ever happened with Tiger. I wonder if it was just ingrained in him, or if he had that moment where he goes, "Oh, I fucking love this."
No,
shit.
it was ingrained.
I'm sure, but he also had the coaching. Like I think that person is like Bubba too. Bubba is just dropped at a golf course, and then he figured out how to hit it left, right, and every which way.
Doesn't need a coach. Doesn't need any of that
nothing.
stuff.
But
Do you
like
remember
Tiger
that? Do you remember that as a kid? I mean, I remember sitting at on a driving range, just not having nothing to do, and then going like, what happens if I move my feet? Like, what happens if I step in here?
Yeah.
And learning a draw, learning a fade, and going like, oh, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, those were the funnest moments in golf. And then you take them on the course, and they never work the way you thought they would.
Infuriating.
And I never really still understand a draw or a fade. Like, when they go, oh, he's going to fade this to par 3, he's going to fade it. I'm like, why not just hit it straight? Like, why not just, what the fuck? But... yeah, I'm not that good.
It is amazing when you think back. I don't know if I've ever thought about what I fell in love with first. I think it might be the aesthetic of golf. I think I was super young, hearing like, and my dad would take me at like 7 a.m. tee time. We'd wake up at like 5:30, get breakfast, and like getting excited for that, like the thing that my dad did on the weekends. I was like, now I get to join with him. But I think like the sound of like the carts going by and just like that morning fog and dew,
The smell.
something about that was like, oh, this shit's like otherworldly. Like now, this is like a real special place. Like it had nothing to do with the swing or the actual sport. I think it had everything to do with like the aesthetic of the place.
Yeah. This is gonna sound patriarchal, but do you think it had, because now that you say that, I remember being allowed into the men's club at Carrollwood. Like they had a men's club and women weren't allowed in, and you had to be like, I think you had to be like 16 to be in there. And I remember going in at like 11 years old, and my dad's like, come on in, we'll get a burger. And you're like, and just all of a sudden you're like walking a little, like hands a little closer, walking a little taller, like, what's up, Mr. Kaler?
I'm big boy now.
Yeah, and then like there is something about being welcomed in to like a man's sport when you're a child, and they're like, you know, and then they pay you the little compliment. You got a good short game, and you're like, oh, thanks a lot. I appreciate it, Mr. Orff.
It's like that in all sports. Baseball, walking through the tunnel, seeing the green grass for the first time, you fall in love with it.
But baseball's different because, like, I was in love with baseball, but I was in love with baseball for a different reason. But baseball, you always played with your peers.
Right.
Like, you never, like, the coaches were all, I mean, I grew up with fucked up coaches, but, like, baseball, you always played with your peers. So it was something you could, like, for us, it was something you could do outdoors in the summer. But you do it in the summer, and then you do it all day, and then you go to practice, then you have games that night, and it was like, baseball was different for me than golf.
Yeah, it was like the way your dad treated it, I think, is the big one, where it's like your dad like brought you into this like man's world, man's game. You were like, oh shit. And I only played golf a handful of times growing up. But that was like hockey for me, because I would play hockey and then see my dad play. But like sometimes you played in the men's league with your dad and you were like, oh shit, this is the locker room. Like dudes are having beers over there.
Basketball was like that. Basketball was like that. You could play basketball with like, when we were in high school, we were in 9th grade, you could go down to the Harbor Island Athletic Club, and my buddy came in. His dad was a member, and we'd go down and we'd play, and then they'd play a men's game, and then every now and then they'd be like, "Why don't you guys come in and you play with the men's?" And they'd guard you. They would let you, get shots off. They wouldn't fucking do stuff.
Do what you're gonna do to your kids.
Do
later.
what you do.
Yeah, to your daughters. Just be like,
maybe they did.
Actually,
And that's
put
why
that
you
out.
are
That's
the
for
way
triple.
you are.
Dude, I remember getting fouled by a man and being like,
a man.
"What the fuck?" And he was like, "Hey man, you're in the paint," and you're like,
Fouled by a man.
I'll never forget. I played goalie, and I was playing the men's league. They just like popped me in there, and like a man took a slap shot, and I caught it in the chest with like kids gear on it, and I was like, "Ooh!" And then somebody skated over to him and was like, "Chill out, dude. The kid's like 7."
Just got to learn.
Right. Tie your skates, bitch.
There was a boy that one of my best. It's his son, my best friend. We got season tickets to the Rams game. I'm gonna sound horrible in a second, and so we're pre-partying and we're having a drink outside, getting ready to drive into the Rams game, and he comes out in the Seahawks jersey. He is maybe 10 years old at the time, I'm guessing, and he's in a Seahawks jersey. They're playing Seahawks. I go, "Hey man, go inside and change your fucking jersey." And he goes, "I'm a Seahawks fan." I was like, "Your dad and I just bought season tickets to the Rams. You're a Rams fan now." And he was like, "Seahawks fan." And I was like, "Dude, seriously?" And he goes, "I bet you they win." I go, "I bet you they don't." And he goes, "How much?" I said, "I'll bet $250. And he goes, "Okay, deal." I said, "You don't have $250. And he goes, "I can get it." And I said, No, I want to bet you something that matters to you." And he goes, "What?" And I was like, "Okay, if the Rams win, I get to cut your hair." And he goes, "Deal." And I went, "Hold on, think it through. If the Rams win, I get to cut your hair. If the Seahawks win, I'll give you $250. And he goes, "Deal." And his dad walks out, and I go, "Why don't you run this by your dad?" And he goes, "Dad, I'm betting Bert. If the Seahawks win, he gives me $250. And he goes, "And if they lose," he goes, "then he cuts my hair." And his dad goes, "Okay." Mind you, this is Sunday. The first day of school is Monday. So he's like, deal. And he goes, "All right." So we all pack in the car, my family, his whole family, and I am giggling the whole ride, right? I don't give a fuck about $250. We get to the game. Rams destroy the Seahawks. It's their first game.
No.
I am drunk
Tell me
now.
it's a big year.
I'm
It's
drunk
like his
now.
freshman year in high school or something.
No, he's like, I think he's in like 4th grade. I'm drunk now, and we're going home, and I can't stop laughing. Because I'm Googling pictures of bad haircuts. What I'm going to fuck this kid's head up. So I go by my house, I get my clippers. We go into the backyard. He's like, I don't care. The first thing I do is I cut his bangs like Simple Jack from Tropic Thunder.
Oh, no.
And as I pull back, he's 10. He looks at me and goes, "Does it look cool?" I go, "Oh, buddy, you didn't think this bet through."
It's not going to give you a cool haircut.
I go, "You thought I wanted to cut your hair? Like that was one of my biggest pleasures would be getting to cut
Like
your
you're
hair."
a pervert.
And
Like you got a hair fetish.
Yeah, he goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Oh, man, I'm fucking your head up." And he was like, "Wait, what?" And I went, "This is how you raise a man. You didn't think the bet through." And his dad goes, "Buddy, when Bert said he was going to cut your hair, he's fucking your head up." And he goes, "I got to go to school tomorrow." And we're like, "This is," and then I keep cutting his hair. And I just cut it so it looks like a helmet. Like,
oh, shit.
And I'm shaving the back and he's like, "Wait, I don't want this bet anymore." And we're like, that's not how that works.
Nope.
Now the girls come out. And by the way, we're recording all of this. Girls come out. They start laughing fucking hysterically. He looks like he needs to be institutionalized. Like he looks like a fucking lunatic. And then he started crying. And my wife comes out. She's like, "You're a fucking bully." And I was like, "This is how you raise men. Sometimes you got to take a shot to the chest. Sometimes you get fouled in the paint. Sometimes they let you play golf with them and they treat you with respect and you feel, and sometimes they cut your hair and they fucking make you look like a dickhead and you will never make a bet. There is no chance that Carter Grusin, I'll say his fucking name, that Carter Grusin will ever lay down a chancy parlay in college. He will think that parlay through. He will never call his mom and dad and go, "I lost 210 on the Packers and the over." Right. Never. Fucking never. Because Bert Kreischer fucked his head up when he was 10 years old.
That is fucking incredible. Holy shit.
I think we got to wrap.
Yeah, we got to get you out of here on KFC Radio.
This has been so
much fun. You got MSG tonight.
Yeah. I got to get my voice to rest.
Do you get like more nervous about playing in New York, or is it like the same shit?
It's the same. Tallahassee, I was a little nervous, but it's the same. I mean, it's funny. I was in Boston last night. You think you'd be nervous, and I actually thought about that oddly enough on stage last night. I thought there was a time in my career where if I performed in Boston, I would want to curtail my material to make sure they liked it, and then I realized, that was the big mistake you make when you're young. What you want to do is just be yourself and do the thing.
That's why they're there.
That's why they're there. And so everyone that is here has seen my specials. They know what I do. I take my shirt off, I drink, and I tell the machine. Ultimately, that's everything you need to know about me.
And it's a 10 out of 10 every day.
So fucking awesome.
So,
I remember watching that.
Where can people find tickets if they want to get them?
Tonight, bertbertbert.com. I think it's sold out, but we always open up. We always hold tickets till the end.
Okay.
And we open them up at the last minute because there's always people that want them at the last minute. So I think we opened up. I think last night they opened up 100 tickets.
Okay.
And so it's a pretty big room.
So keep an eye out for the whole tour. How long is the tour going for?
Until I die.
I know. I was looking at the dates before we got on here. You're going till May.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's November.
Yeah, and then I think I go right into movie. I think we're doing 2 movies back to back, and then when the year starts up, it's fucking big. Like I have big fucking plans for the beginning of 2023. Is if I will slow down my drinking, lose weight, and get healthy, because 2023 will be the funnest year of my life. Without a doubt. I haven't announced anything yet.
What a
tease.
But starting in January of 2023, and I'll tell you when I'm off, and you're gonna go, shut the fuck up. The beginning of 2023 is the start of the funnest year of my life. And now, granted, I just had a year where I made a movie about my life. I did a TV show with Rosario Dawson, who's one, and Jennifer Nettles, 2 most beautiful women in the world. And I've toured. I'm starting to do arenas. I hung out with Aaron Rodgers. I did the fucking Florida State for the first time. I'm having a great year now. 2023 is going to knock its dick in the dirt.
Holy shit.
Wow.
I can't wait to hear what this
What a
is.
tease.
Yeah. So
All right.
Thanks again for
been a
coming.
pleasure.
Man.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank
This
you
was
very
great.
much. I appreciate it.